Go!
Joseph Patrick puts in €2. Already 10 minutes here or 500 years late. Live long and prosper. Yes. Well, we started 10 minutes early, but the time vortex thingy,
Yes.
you guys have to catch up. So we were on time. We were early.
And so at the end, we're going to beam into the start. And that's how it's going to be an endless loop of the temporal mechanics of the temporal. I don't know what I'm saying. You know, it's funny. I just watched the Orville episode, and so I'm right in the Orville universe, and so to come back to Star Trek is a bit weird.
That's what I feel like every Thursday night. So watch the new episode of Discovery, watch an episode of Orville, then have to go do a live talking about the Discovery and remember everything that happened in it. So.
And how do you do it, oh Captain, my Captain?
With great skill and much class.
Ah. Yeah. You have to remind me some of the stuff because I'm just like, oh. Well, I did write notes that we didn't go into in our review because we did release our editor review, which I think ended up being quite good. I like that one, I think. But I've got notes as well. Do you have notes for this one? So I don't think you used notes either for the... We sort of stopped using notes to finish our review.
I do have notes. I have them on my phone now, though. I just dictate them instead of writing them. It's a lot faster.
Very nice. Oh.
Yes. I got a few for this one. Not as many as some of the other episodes, but... Hello, everyone. Hello, Xavier Gamer, Richard, Wayback Tech, Jeff Jacobs, Richard, Ash, Astro, everybody. Hello. So, yes, great episode. This is
actually
a great time episode.
Controversial. Sorry to just before. Which one won this week? Orville or Discovery?
Different creatures, but both equally good. So, that's a tie.
Ooh,
it's a time tie. Welcome to Time Trekyards, because everything is cooler when you put time in front of it.
It's true. This is the time discovery. With this is the shot and I'll go back to your thing in a second. This is the shot I referenced in our review, saying that if you look at it, you can see that they've clearly zoomed in the camera with the lens so that everything looks much more pulled in, so the longness of the cells isn't blatant.
Yes,
and it works better. I mean, I've done that shot in so many of our goddamn thumbnails, exact angle, because it works better. What are you gonna say, Stuart? Sorry,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Well, okay then.
I was going to say, this is a fantastically beautiful opening shot. And as soon as I saw it, I looked at Sylvie and said, oh, this is awesome. Because this is what I like. I like the ship shots. And that's what we've been saying all through season 1. We need more opening shots of the ship in orbit or, going by orb with a captain's log or something over top of it. It was a personal log, commander's personal log, but still. Well done. Well done.
I also, this is an unusual sort of shot because it starts off very, very dark as being lit from off camera, and then it goes into the shot. So you don't tend to do this sort of shot because it looks so dark, but it's a nice reflection of, the reflection of the planet, and it's actually, it works very well. It's unusual. I love how close you get. I don't remember ever seeing that deflector array that close.
Yeah, it looked really good. I noticed that the second time too. The two prongs.
Because
look very nice.
Always so either dark or depth of fieldy, but I'm like, yeah, that works. Well, I still don't know what the glowing elements are in many of these places, and
yeah, we got a 1,000 ruble super chat.
Dude, starting high. Thanks, man. Welcome back.
Wow, good episode. Good sci-fi concepts. Good CGI, especially the vortex, the A and B plots, and Michael Burnham is only in one of them. If only they got rid of opening narration and Ganoush.
No, Kronos.
Okay.
Kronos. Go back and listen to any fucking Klingon.
Orville is a little bit disappointing, but extremely good production. I didn't think it was disappointing. But...
Not disappointing, but it wasn't the best thing ever. Didn't quite get that for me. But yeah, positivity. It's nice to be positive. And I don't know. It is. There's a few real problems, and there's a few problems even for last week that we didn't notice because we're just sort of going through. I wonder how many of the other YouTube personalities are going to slam this one, because even the problems are relatively, and I think most of them are classical Trek problems. Doesn't make them right here, but it's not as if they're not, it's not like, as I always say, it's episode 3 of Discovery, 6 months time jump, and the photographer ship is still there. Completely defies logic and reason, and there's nothing like that anymore, thank goodness. But I'm gonna share while you vamp and talk to the amazing people.
Perfect time to do that, because Mike P says, does Trekyards sell command t-shirts? What do you mean by command? Just gold? Because I do have some Trekyards shirts for myself that I can't find. The Teespring doesn't make the same kind, and they don't do the embroidery. So I got to find another way to get those kind of shirts available for you guys. But at some point we will. We do have t-shirts. Check out the Teespring store attached to the YouTube page. The link's in the description. There you go. It's just been shared in the chat. Thank you very much. So yeah, anyway, that'll help you out. Hopefully you find something there you like. If not, make a request, something you want to see. We'll try to deliver. There's always going to be new merchandise coming in. Chive Bacon, my good friend, puts in $10. Thank you.
Chive. Thank you, man.
I liked it, but so much going on. Hope they can manage all these threads to wrap it up in a good way. I hope. Visuals were great. The Matrix squiddies, not so much. It's funny. I refer to them as that as well, because it's very, very, very visually similar to the squids. Sentinels, yes. The Sentinels.
I disagree so much as going on. I think it was just the right amount of stuff going on. Does that make sense? I think.
I agree with you as well. Yeah, I didn't think it was too much at all. It was perfect.
And you've also been not critical, but you've had problems you've called out when you think there are pace issues. And so the fact that you agree this is very on point, I think says something that again, we think it is.
Are we in agreement?
Look, we're in agreement most of the time, okay? Don't make it sound like we're not.
I know. I was doing my first reaction review last night, and I'm like, I wonder what Samuel's going to think, because I really love this one. He's probably going to, poo-poo all over it for some reason. But no, you actually liked it as well. So
I always give reasons. None of them are dumb reasons. There always are reasons.
I always have reasons as well.
I agree. And our reasons are the same this time.
Some of them are dumb reasons, considering your point of view, I guess. But there's still reasons.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
Well, we got... How many people do we have right now? 115 people. I want to show off some of the Trekyards sample coasters we got. See? We got the Trekyards pinup sample and the command logo, or the Trekyards logo. These will be available shortly, soon, whatever. Just keep your eyes open. Anyway, there we go. I'm done doing my thing. All right, so might as well just jump right into this. As I said, beautiful opening shot. Really appreciated the flyby, and it wasn't too short. I find a lot of times with season 1, it was very short, quick. Look, here's the ship. Okay, we're taking it away. This was a beautiful, nice pass. So.
And what do you think? There was still an orbit of Kelpier of. It's very much sort of a sequel to the previous episode, which ended on this epic note. And we're still here. Are we doing negotiations with the Ba'ul? Just destroy their entire way of life? Are there some repercussions of that? How much do they mention it, Stuart? This important, life-changing, universe-changing incident.
They don't. They do say that they're there to investigate the we'll get to that note in a second, whatever they said.
Yeah, but I was excited because I was like, oh, they're still there. There's going to be something.
Yeah, they're there to monitor the traces of residual decay and study them, because they need to test it to see what it has to do with the Red Angels.
Well, I found that odd, because every time they should be anywhere, there should be a trace, and they say Section 31 did pick up a trace at the one with the asteroid, and yet they didn't ever pick it up or stay. I felt that a bit weird, that suddenly there's a trace, despite there never being a trace before. And I found it very strange. I'm right in the shot where there's still a red burst, but the red burst is the Angel, and the Angel already left. Well, so what is that? Now, is this meant to be the flashback? Because there's sort of a sense in the next frame.
That's not a red burst. That's the sun for the solar system in the distance.
Oh. That's a bad choice of being red then.
Yeah, I think it actually does.
Huh, that really confused me.
Yeah,
the next one we see the playback of the red thing coming in, so I sort of took it as it's further away bit.
I think it's just the sun and the solar system.
Right.
That's the vibe I got from. I
Thank you.
didn't imagine there was an imminent threat of a red orb there still.
Okay, because as we go into our quarters, there's the red, and it's like that's clearly a visual tie-in of there's a red thing here, or it's because they'd say it's radiation being left over, so you assume, but okay, it's just their sun.
Yeah,
fair enough. I didn't notice that. Thanks, man.
Frank Black puts in $10 with no comment, but thank you very much, Frank. Very appreciated.
So it's worth noting you can super chat, and what that means is a little thing at the bottom. It's a money little symbol. You put in whatever you want, and we have to read the comment you say or the question. We're here sort of at your command, at your leisure here. Anything will help. And you get your voice
by your command,
pretty much, and it all goes towards our funding the channel. What we can do, and these super chats provide over 50% of our monthly income by people like you guys, and even giving $5 mounts up very quickly. So thank you in advance, and anything's good. So $10 is amazing. Thanks, Frank, or thanks, Bishop.
And if you don't want to fatten up the greedy YouTube pig that takes 30% off the top, you can do so by directly paying us through PayPal.
Yes.
The link is the information's in the description. That just ensures we get more of what you donate as opposed to getting 30% skipped off.
Yes.
Anyway, so here we find out that Spock had a mental break. And the only person that can answer these questions is Spock, of course. So Burnham's packing her bag, ready to go on this adventure to Vulcan.
Yes. Good summary. Yes. Yeah. So she talks to Pike about getting this time off, and she says,
"This is a great conversation.
I would never pack my bag," even though he says she already has, and it's on that level of disubordination and cheeky, and it's right on that level in a good way. I think it's like,
well, there's no harm in packing your bag and being ready. If he says no, you just go unpack it.
But she says, "Oh, I would never do that, sir." But she has, so it's like,
it's just being playful. I think
that's what I mean. It's on that fun little level. And it's interesting that he calls out, because he's obviously very invested in the Red Angels, and I like how they double down later on about how he wants this mission to prove himself after the war, and that we'll get into that later. This is very much like he's pursuing it because he can do something really useful to the galaxy. And he says, he asked Burnham, did the Angel break Spock, or did the Angel pick Spock because he was broken?
She said, I don't like either option. Yeah. Greg Ken puts in $2 Thank you. All red flare shots have become suspicious. Yes, this is true. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of red things going on. Andrew Steele puts in $4.99. Thank you. Temporal Cold War squiddies, one side, Red Angel the other. Yes.
It's got to be, Andrew. It's got to be. Use what's there. That is absolutely the canon. And although they're from the 2750s, so it's a little bit before. But since time is, if all the Temporal Cold War people were in the 31st century, that's a bit of a weird. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite make sense as a time war. Pike also says in this bit, and we'll call it out later, he says, extemporizing, just saying whatever he's thinking, although it calls out later, showed him a future he couldn't process, was his guess. And I thought that was a bit random at the time, but having seen the part 2 and other trailer, that is what happened. I thought that was fun. They set up right away. What do you think when you heard that?
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to see what that might be, and I think we got a glimpse of that in the preview for the next episode for sure. But yeah, that makes sense if it's a temporal thing, and although I don't think Spock would be going crazy because he couldn't comprehend what he saw or whatever, or process it.
Well, my guess is he took in too much information. They just didn't. They overloaded his synapses by sending him too much information, or maybe because they did say, actually, again we're skipping a little bit ahead, but they said, although it's again guessing, Michael said if a normal Vulcan was given this, whatever happened to him, he would have gone insane. But because he's half human, he's only gone half insane. So possibly, seeing the death caused by this future created so many emotions in Spock that his human side sort of keeping them at bay. They can deal with them more than a Vulcan can, possibly. A weird side effect of the information, because you're seeing the Earth get destroyed. It's quite a thing to think about and see.
Yeah, and she did make a point: as any other Vulcan, the emotion would have destroyed him by now. So, Next scene is on the bridge. Tilly comes in and says there's some cool stuff going on, and it's freaking amazing. I love how she did that and tempered it down and was like, you told me not to swear on duty. So that's funny. And then they're talking about the residual decay and all that, and how it might be from a technology that hasn't been invented yet, because they said nothing can produce that kind of reaction. So that was kind of cute. And Tilly was really good in this episode. I really enjoyed her for more reasons than one. I thought she was well done.
Yeah, I liked the freaking amazing is a nice little retcon. It's another little gentle retcon of, yeah, oops for the swearing. We're gonna step that back a step and now have freaking, and you know, it really is. It invent a word. It lets you use expletives, use something more powerful than just darn.
Yeah.
But be in the context. So I like they're actively saying, yeah, just gonna step away from
I
that.
like how Pike's like, yeah, let's find out something more better than freaking amazing. Like, you know, something a little more specific.
Well, I mean, it's we've had multiple times of Tilly and Pike having a certain chemistry.
Yeah,
A little bit of flirting there, do you think? Because it's a little bit. Cause you always
a little bit, yeah.
It's like just a little bit. But he's just playful. I guess he sees a lot of that in Herman. Who else in the bridge crew can be that playful? Well, no one should be. They're officers. Calm down. But yeah, so there's the Red Angel left behind traces of residual decay. I found this funny. Left behind traces of residual decay. There's a lot of words just say there's just leftover bits.
Technobabble.
Yeah. And they can tell, and that decay can tell us when and where it is from the future. And I was like, no, it can't. No, it can't. That doesn't make sense. You can't read those reads and get that. No. You know what I mean? They're all very confident with their time detection stuff in this episode. I felt it was very overconfident given where they're in the timeline. Like, even the Enterprise D people, I doubt could scan in a temporal anomaly and say, oh, yes, from the 2407's 12th of February. And it's like...
Quantum decay, particle decay, you know, they can find out when things were from the past, kind of like carbon dating. So I guess that could be applied to future. Yeah, but yeah, I see it more for TNG era.
Like you could... if it's a decay from a technology that has already travelled, like it just seemed a little bit. And luckily, it didn't help. When they found the Squiddy is much more interesting. I thought as we found some information. Oh, and this is one last thing about the two things. I've got a few little lines. Nothing else of a supernova has recorded levels this high. And I was like, ooh, is that going to be a supernova like they need a supernova like the Hobus to send something back?
Ooh. The red matter screwed things up.
I mean, it's call that a supernova. Big supernova.
That's interesting. Never thought about that, but it could be an interaction with the red matter created the red orbs or something. I don't know. Oh man, that's scary. Yeah.
The red matter causes red things.
Red. And then Tyler comes on the bridge.
Yes.
What's going on with Burnham? Why'd she leave? Why didn't you tell me? And this is great because she's on personal leave, and personal means personal.
Yes.
And then Tyler feels the need to whip the badge at him, which he catches no problem. And it's like, sorry, chair outranks the badge. And then gets up, tosses the badge back. It was just a great interaction between Pike and him. I really liked their kind of butting heads at the moment. I thought it was really well done. And again, great character development for everybody involved in this episode. So
it was kind of, they wanted, I feel like with certain things they had to push certain characters through. Like they gave us a little bit of them butting heads earlier, but it's sort of under the download. This is the episode that brought it to the forefront and then fixed it. So it's kind of like we had a Tilly episode where the same thing happens, and we're gonna have a one with Stamets, and like this kind of, they each get one episode where their arc is like the primary C story. But I like, again, I think Tyler is not the same. I don't know if you agree, but he's been given a different direction to season 1. This is not the same character. This is not the same. I mean, it isn't very much so. But if you compare the performances, he's different, distinct. It could be a whole new character. It wouldn't affect it. So, is he asking for, because he thinks of himself as Burnham's, boyfriend, I need to know what happens, or is he obviously being very Section 31 or how's is this?
I got more of a Section 31 vibe from that.
See,
especially the conversation they have in the turbo lift. I can understand you not wanting to tell me about Burnham, but if it has anything to do with the Red Angels, or you need to tell me because I'm your liaison officer for Section 31, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and then he says, "Well, my chair start ranks this badge." That was nice.
Yeah, that was a beautiful line.
Well, I think
the chair outranks the badge. Yeah.
I think in the future, the DS9 Section 31, I think it doesn't. Shows how it changes.
Yeah. Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Look, €2 decaying into $1.40, or 140. Pike's best episode. Yeah, I mean, it was great.
Episode 1, I think, still, because he was given the front and foremost. And it was funnier, but he's good. He's good. He's developed in this one.
Yes. Jeff Jacobs puts in $5. Chair outranks the badge, son. Favorite line this season.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
So let's see. What do we have next here?
Because personal means personal. Great line. And then a rift in space-time forms. I was not expecting that, as all their monitors go haywire and they literally just damage all the monitors, and it's quite a fun effect. And they say, "Oh, our systems can't quite deal with radiation," and then now this is very clearly a red thing is still out there, and then gets pulled into the time distortion, which has confused me because that's definitely not the sun. That's a red thing.
Looks like something coming out of the time distortion at first because of the direction of the.
Possibly, because I assumed it was the red thing at the start of the episode, which is why it was red and red. But yeah, it could have come out and then. But
maybe
I didn't expect to see a red thing there. It's like just open, and then a full-on time distortion. Was not
what the frick?
This was unexpected. Because who, what, where caused this? It's not. I mean, it's blue, which it should be a visual indicator that it's not the Red Angels. I think that's clearly the indication there.
We got a super chat from Herbal Essences, or H3 Herbal Essence 5. Tech going through time and sent back again, more advanced, was this episode's most interesting hook. Could we be dealing with a tech singularity storyline? I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later when when we see the squiddy and it starts doing its thing, and what the result of that is. But there's so many possibilities with this rift, to be honest. So
these two have been really nice to evolve the factor. Again, they've done a much better job this season with their arc. It's not spoon-fed. It's not drip-drop. It's bit at a time, naturally. Like, you can't guess what's happening because there's not enough information. But it's intriguing mystery, and it feels like a full season arc. Like it was planned, and I appreciate that so much. That's what we needed.
Yeah. Zarkon D. Grissom puts in $5. It says, Stamets, the Spore Wizard, can walk through the time portal unscathed, unlike all the other mere mortals. LOL. We'll talk about that in a second. And then he also puts in another $5. Thank you again, Zarkon. Spock's dyslexia, math dyslexia, was a bit much. Section 31 with the Klingon Mind Ripper was Overall, the show sounded good in most parts. Yeah, we'll talk about the learning disability thing when we get there, but there's a few points I'd like to make about that. And then David Best
didn't address that at all when we got to our main review, so yeah.
Yeah. David Bessick puts in $2. By the way, the shuttle bay is finally closed. LOL. When? Oh, in that last shot, was it? Because it was open in the establishing shot.
What was, sorry?
The shuttle bay was closed in that shot where the red thing goes into out of the temporal. Looks like it might be open.
No, it looks open to me. I don't know. Could be either. I don't think it matters necessarily, but nice catch. It's a beautiful looking anomaly. It's a really nice looking, cool thing. It's very abstract.
Yes. 300 ruble super chat.
Dude.
They used black hole gravity lens effect like in Interstellar for the vortex. That's awesome.
Yeah, certainly. And this is, we'll bring up now because this is a shot I was referred to. Stuart, Would I
Yes.
be fair in saying that the USS Discovery is in orbit of Kelpia? Would I be
Yes.
fair to say?
Absolutely, indeed.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that given the distance the shuttle seems to travel to find this anomaly, that it is also in roughly a similar orbit to Kelpia?
Yes.
Where the hell are the Bavuans, any of these people? Where is that fleet of warp-capable ships
The
that we saw
Baul.
earlier? Thank you. Where are they? Why aren't they reacting? Why aren't they being mentioned? And what effects? Because they said 5 hours this radiation will kill everyone on board ship. So how many of the population
No,
on...
5 hours of the radiation would kill anyone on the shuttle, not the ship.
I'm pretty sure I had the ship.
No, it's the shuttle. They had 5 hours to get them out of there, otherwise they would die on the shuttle from the radiation.
Okay, after we watched that, because I could have sworn Stamets was concerned about them. But okay, whatever. But there's definitely radiation coming out and such and things, and it just feels very as if it was just some random planet, even though it really isn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too concerned about that, to be honest. The Baul probably are just they got slapped down. They don't want to face anything. I don't know. Or the Red Angel did take care of all their technology, and it's all inactive now.
Which, as I said in our review, the problem with that is that they specifically called out that if the technology is all disabled, if the Zindi, the Kelpians, yeah, don't have the advantage because they'll have the technology, but if the technology's all been disabled, then the Kelpians surely can go kick their ass. It just felt very much like it just needed an offhand comment, and it was weird that we completely ignored where we were, how important that is, and Saru never for once said, "Scanning my homeworld, it's fine." Like this is his entire race who've just been through the complete change of society, and he not for 1 second thinks about them as a time rift opens up in orbit of his planet. I mean, come on, guys. There needs to be something. You know?
Yeah. I'm not too worried about that. It's just
Discovery being Discovery.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. The planet can. I didn't care about the Kelpians in that episode anyway, so who cares?
I know.
Stephen Fathry puts in $2. Archer dated the Zindi weapon as future year.
Yeah. I mean, reverse carbon date it, but I don't know if they reverse carbon dated the probe. I was not what I was worried about. It was more the radiation byproduct left by so if a time traveler goes back in time and it leaves back radiation because of its time travel, that time travel radiation should start from our point in time, because if you've gone through time, why would the radiation start in the past or the future? It was my only problem. Like the probe's fine, just the radiation didn't seem to make sense to how they could track place and time. Do you really think the radiation could tell you it started in the gamma quadrant in the 2700s? It's like,
Yeah. Rel Solus puts in $9.99.
Oh, so kind.
I like Discovery a lot. With that said, Kurtzman can save canon by revealing that the death of Burnham's parents involving temporal experiments by Section 31 created the Discovery timeline we are seeing. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm all for that because it's its own thing. It's the Discoveryverse, right? So
it's interesting.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And Jill Wright says the Baul are scared because they think Discovery took out their whole network. Well, yes, but they're also massively aggressive and all those things. It just seems weird not to have a single, not a single thing when a devastating, absence is odd.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't carbon dating, it was quantum dating of the probe. I know dating is, I don't mean literally carbon, I just mean dating in general.
And then we get the scene where he says, load the probe onto a shuttle, Saru. We're going to head on over there. And this is where Pike says he's the most qualified, even though he's, Saru's like, you're important personnel. Yeah, I'm the most qualified. And it comes up later with Tyler, a little conversation they have, which is quite interesting.
It's fun to find out that his first assignment was as a test pilot. So I guess his just like Paris, his career path was a pilot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. And Jill Wright puts in $2. The Baul are scared. They think Discovery took out
Already read that, but as a non-super chat. Thanks, Jill.
Yeah.
Oops, lol. It's fine, Jill. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. And then you get your favourite moment, Stuart. The Casimus? The cavernous interior travesty, inner workings sequence. Twice as long as the last one.
I know. They doubled down on it. And it's like, you've screwed it up once. Just don't show it again. Anyway, internal configuration of the ship doesn't justify this.
They should have just removed this from the episode and just cut the episode down by 7 seconds.
Yep.
Please. For the Blu-ray release, just take it out. Just don't include it. It just hurts it, please. Or just do... it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Roberto Suarez puts in $5. Spock's numbers were coordinates, but they were backwards, so Amanda didn't think of that. ? Michael was only one who figured that out.
Yeah, why were they backwards?
Because of the story of Alice in Wonderland. She was saying to Sarek, I was trying to make sense of his life by showing that up could be down, left could be right. And because of that connection, she put together that it was backwards. So pay attention. Alice in Wonderland, craziness. A book about chaos.
Yeah, it's hard to, when the whole thing's abstract, to continue in abstract.
I just figured that out right this second, by the way. So
sounded like you knew it the whole time. And to be
that's
fair,
how I roll.
To be fair, he had only been there for 2 days with Amanda. So, and I can imagine Sarek would notice if she was away for 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? She's hiding there. She's not able to treat him. So, she's not necessarily going to spend all waking hours. But although you would think if you put in a computer these numbers, find any pattern, eventually you'd find it reversed as a star map, especially if there's only one location. But whatever, I didn't have a problem with that personally.
Neither did I. This conversation with the whole, you killed a member of this crew, and there's no way to get rid of that. And then Pike says, I know the feeling. So Pike has something similar. So that was an interesting conversation. I really did like that.
Your shadow killed a member of my crew. Or this crew. Great line. Although, when he said, you can't get rid of it, I completely thought that he meant, Tyler, I can't get rid of you. You're the pain in my ass. So I thought it was very literal. And that's why Tyler's like, at the end.
I didn't think that. Well, it could be. It could be knowing Pike. But I also get the feeling that it's something that he's fighting within himself, which they kind of explore later with not being involved in the war.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons he took this mission, even though he was the most qualified. It was also just to prove a point and to get out there and do something. So the I know of the feeling thing, I think, could be multi-layered as far as that goes. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get tile sequence. Just wanted to point out it's been updated now with the angel suit.
The mechanical suit.
Our clearest indication so far. It's a suit.
That should be a separate video. Really.
Well, there's not much to say except look, it's interesting. And those wings are real simple.
Yeah, it looks like there's a symbol on the stomach, like a angel cross type symbol. If you zoom in on it, it's pretty interesting actually. Another 150 rubles. Are they coordinates? I always thought bearing and mark means change of direction relative to position and orientation of a ship. Yes. Stop getting technical because they don't think that way. It's where the reveal is at the end.
Yes. Although good job for asking questions. Now this is when we get a beautiful establishing shot that I called out our review as being one of my favourite little bits of the episode because they just didn't need to do this. They didn't need this. They could just have cut to the family home, but this is a lovely little. I think it makes Vulcan look great. It's red. It's moody. It's got, it's a nice metropolis and yet Vulcan. I think it's great looking. What do you think?
Yeah. I thought it was all right. I didn't even really notice it, to be honest.
Okay.
But you're right. They did not need this scene. So it's probably one they might really use at some point.
Yeah. But it's nice they did.
Yeah.
Just add something. You just need these sorts of shots, establishing shots, as we said earlier. They're getting better at establishing shots.
Yeah. And then Michael lands, and I didn't notice this, but Anti-Trekker actually pointed out that her shuttle is awesome because it has racing stripes. That means it goes faster than other shuttles, don't you know?
Well, we saw a red one in the first episode. Just that they get to Discovery, and we're like, "Why is it red?" And everyone's like, and we said, "Okay." And you know,
it was nice. It was nice though. What is your business here?
yeah.
You know, I'm not here as a Starfleet officer. I'm here as his daughter. So just let me land.
Yeah, I mean, you should just be able to. Although she is was a fugitive, and she's got an awful record right now. But
well, it's been expunged, so there's no record actually on file.
And this was interesting that it was odd to present Vulcan with lots of foliage and lots of rain. Of all the ways they could present it, I was like, oh.
It's all red foliage, though.
That was pretty. I can guess that ambassadors and richer, more well-off people get more luxurious
landscaping.
Well, yeah, luxurious zones, and I'm sure there's also ways of manually controlling certain parts of the atmosphere. Do you want to live in a more wet area or a more dry area? Because we know there are big deserts and desert cities. Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure terraforming is not going to be difficult.
It's probably like Ryza. They have a weather control system that they can get rain when they need it for certain areas. Yeah.
So she walks in and sees her home and sees Amanda.
This was hilarious. This scene cracked me up the first time I saw it, second time, and this flashback was even better. What's your name? Michael. No, sweetie, that's a boy's name. Would you like to be our son? Instead, she says, would you like to meet our son? It just sounds like, my name's Michael. And then she says, would you like to meet our son? But it sounded like, would you like to be our son? It just made me laugh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, Stuart. Yeah, this was actually a nice flashback sequence. 3D chess is still a thing. That's good to know.
Oh, I was confused as to what she did with her fingers to have such a... All she was like move it and then like bend a finger up. And it's like, why are you so amused by your finger when you just moved it? Like, she didn't do anything that I saw that warranted her being so like, ooh, my fingers.
Well, she's trying to do this, but she can't. So really? That's why she's laughing. Yeah, she's trying to do the Vulcan salute.
Okay, see, I didn't get that. She was playing chess. Why would you then do that all of a sudden? It's like, okay, that was poorly shown.
No, the chessboard was in the current time, and Burnham walked by it. I don't know if she was the one that moved the piece, but she was just trying to do this and laughed at herself.
Oh. It's just weird. Didn't get the context. Then they do it together. Although I then thought Vulcans don't like touching people because it's very intimate and very sensory. I was like, that's really like...
Yeah, but it's family member.
Well, sure, but still.
Yeah, I love how Spock's like, you are amused by your own error? That is not logical. Emotions confuse me, and Burnham's laughing, and she's, yeah, me too. Because, I mean, emotions are kind of
what do you think
nonsensical.
What do you think of the kid now losing like 99% of her hair? From the big, bushy orphan to Vulcan haircut. Because from that to that, she really had a haircut. Mandatory Vulcan haircut. If you love Vulcan, you have this haircut.
She's guaranteed she's the character in Star Trek who has the most hairstyles so far.
Yeah.
Because Burnham has had quite a few hairstyles, even adult Burnham. So
yeah.
DSBD puts in $3 Canadian.
Thank you.
So Sarek and Amanda live at Integral House in Toronto. Yes, they do. That's what that is.
Oh, it is. I just googled it.
Yeah.
Cool. That's random, but I mean it's nice.
Well,
what's it meant to
everything's right here in Toronto.
What's it meant to be? Or just
I have no idea. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Later in the preview for the next episode, where they land on the planet, and it's like a quarry. I want to find out where the quarry is because that's the same one they used in the Mirror episode, or the Mirror Universe episode from season 1. So I'd like to see where that is.
Space.
It'll be near me. It'll be near me. Yeah, it was a nice scene actually, where Spock helps her do the salute, and I really did appreciate it. I expected Amanda to be more pissed off at Burnham after the last time they were talking, because she stormed out of the room like, I don't want you to find him, I'll find him. Here she's like, I'm happy you're back, Michael. She's just let go of all that anger that she found out that Burnham was mean to Spock when they were young.
It felt as if it was a disconnected, like the director and writer forgot the last time was dramatic. Because it didn't. I mean, it's only been. I mean, I would stretch a couple of weeks. I mean, you could. I mean, days even. I think it would be more appropriate. So yeah, it did feel a bit off kilter. Should have been like, "It's good to see you, Mike." Like, just the tone could have been better. Of like, well, welcome back, Michael. Rather than good to see you. You know. Although I can imagine that she's very worried about obviously Spock now having in her grasp and yet so far away, and Sarek doing his daily, hourly chant.
Well, he's doing Takmar. He's practicing it. It's a ritual to bring home lost souls.
Although that doesn't mean anything in reality. I don't know what that would do in, like, I guess, lost Contras.
He's got a connection to his kids, so it's just a way to send out a signal telepathically to
with what
we're looking for you. We're home. Yeah.
Okay. So that, but it still feels a little bit like that's the only thing he can do because he's such a logical, intelligent man. He's not doing anything technological. He's not doing anything with Starfleet. He's at his house meditating. So therefore, he's at the end of his tether. He knows there's nothing he can really do except this one small thing which hasn't worked for days and days and weeks. So that was interesting, and that's how you see him be so broken near the end in certain moments, is because he is like, I don't know, what else can I do? Amanda, what else can I do? And she's obviously like, he's over there, but I can't tell you. So you can imagine that she's not pissed off at Burnham anymore because she's hiding the secret and she's really worried about everybody. Yeah. Everybody is sad, so why be pissy?
Yeah.
Although, guys, 67 likes and 246 people watching. Come on, guys. We should get at least 150 likes with this many people watching. So please click that like button right now on one of your main devices. If it's either a phone, a tablet, okay, we kind of difficult on a TV, but please, guys, please like the video. Helps in the analytics, and people might even see us while we're live right now. So click. 71, come on, click.
And
yes.
This is also where we find out that Amanda is basically lying to her because Burnham's like, you've never lied to me, so that's why I know you're lying.
That's a nice line.
He knows where Spock is. Spock's not how you remember him. Another good line. So
now, what do you think of how Amanda and Burnham, how Amanda is hiding him? How did she find him? Because it very quickly jumped to, oh, there he is. Like Burnham didn't really find Spock. She was lucky that her mum found Spock and hid him. Like, what did you think of how that suddenly quickened the pace of the search?
I loved it. I didn't need an explanation for how she found him. That being said, it'd be nice to know, but in the context of this, to keep the pacing fine, I thought it was perfectly acceptable. So
I did too. The only thing I wish is that she wasn't convinced so easily, and because they kept recycling the same dialogue in 3 different scenes, one with them two, one with Sarek and Burnham, one with Burnham and Section 31 guy, the same exact lines of, don't worry, I'll look after him, no, again to Starfleet, no, like, it's the same scene 3 times, and this one being so long felt a bit, you know what I mean, it got a bit repetitive to me, so it was like, either she's very easy to convince or not easy to convince, but she kind of ended up being quite easy to convince to let her see him.
Yeah.
We have a cool angle of discovery as we go over the registry, seeing a pretty big Aztec pattern as the shuttle zooms off.
I like the ship. I like the color of it. It looks interesting. Just not too much.
Yeah, it would have been better. I mean, it's funny how Copper was literally just Brian Fuller again, so let's make it different. It's like, so many things he did, man.
Yeah.
So many things.
And this is where Tilly's saying, okay, well, you're going to ease in slowly, that way you don't get the time bends like a scuba diver coming up too fast. And Pike's like, time bends, I like that. Everything's cooler when you put time in front of it. So, yeah, it was great.
Ironically, that was more like Orville humor, but like...
Yeah.
That was fun with Orville, and that was a great... Because it's true. It's true. Mm-hmm. Time tunnel, time temporal mechanics, I don't know. It was nice to just Pike have fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Trent Colacott puts in 279 Canadian.
Thank you.
Michael always looked confused talking to people. She does.
Yeah.
That's because she's like trying to comprehend why they're so stupid. Because she's so much better than everybody else. She's like bringing herself down to their level to like understand what they're saying.
Well,
it's like they're talking too slow.
Didn't you hear she beat all the Vulcans at the Science Academy when she was a person? Didn't you hear that?
What
Was
they
what
didn't
happened?
mention, what they didn't mention was that she beat them all with a baseball bat. Not in scores, not in intelligence, but with a baseball bat. Anyway,
Yes.
on that note,
Well,
this is where they.
hold on. I want the live to catch up with where I did a shot. I did a funny thing. It's not. It's not. It's not this one. So wait for it. Wait for it. Because we're talking about Burnham. I think this summarizes. Burnham is looking at you. There we go.
Like, hi, Captain. I have a really good plan. Like, why do you always have to look like that? I don't know if she's just a bad actress or if it's just bad direction or what the situation is. I've never been Walking Dead or anything, but good God.
It's a tricky character, though. Like,
No, it's not.
No, but I mean, it's not a well-conceived character.
Oh, well,
The
that's
foibles
true.
and the things, it's a... I mean, like I said, I met her. She was great in person. She was so full of life and so bubbly and so, like, wanting to push her sense, her life energy to you and talk to you. And that was right at the end of the day, a long day, and that shows how caffeine she was. Like if she was almost Tilly, like she could almost project as well. So it's weird that she's got this role.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man. Oh man. Jeff, why did you get rid of that message? Michael made a funny comment, or Matthew DeFrida said, looks like she has to take a shit. It does kind of look like she's like, gotta go to the bathroom. Anyway.
Yearning for Vulcan loo.
We see the inside of the shuttle, and I gotta say, I appreciate all the switches, knobs, toggle switches, lights, tactile buttons, dials, lots of really cool stuff in there. Yeah. And then we see Pike sees over his shoulder a flash forward, a time temporal thing of looks like he's shooting Tyler.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about later, but I love the way he deals with it. He doesn't make a point of telling Tyler about it because I wouldn't either in that situation.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen to cause this. So the payoff was actually really good. It was kind of a bait and switch, but that's fine.
And we got this set up earlier in the captain's chair. It was a very gentle setup, and I kind of wish this had been like this by itself could be an entire storyline. It's basically just an episode from Red Dwarf called Time's Echo, I think, where you see future flash forwards. That would have been just a fun. Well, that might be later on. I mean, this, as I said in our review, the fact that he saw this out of context. He saw the reality of what happened, beat for beat, but it wouldn't let him see this technology from the future. And so, if in the future similar, because what if the future entities they created this time rift, knowing that they were there because Red Angel did his thing, and then this is one of their weapons, and therefore you get this effect later on where you see something. And it's the context of it that you have to perceive at that second, but it's based on your own personal bias. When you got to the moment, it was like it was, but it was not exactly. And so you can make wrong actions based on what you think is going to happen. Like he got more yelly at Tyler and more negative. It could be just an interesting time play device thing.
No, I disagree. It was just the way the angle was and the fact that it wasn't a full image. It was just like an after or a forward image, I guess, of it. That it just didn't see the tentacle. I don't think it's hidden deliberately at all.
Well, no,
because in that moment he's going to shoot the tentacle to get it off Tyler because Tyler's done nothing to warrant getting shot at that point. So
but if you recall, there's multiple tentacles around him and around the room, so you'd have seen, if it was going to show it, it would have shown something. And the fact there's none of that at all, that probe just might be immune from temporal distortion, which would be an obvious thing to do.
Because it's not a biological entity. It didn't show up in the gun.
You can see the gun. I thought that, and then I thought that you can see the gun and the bolt and the tack vests. I mean,
okay. Well, they wouldn't be naked. That's just stupid. I don't know. I totally disagree with you on that point. I'm sorry. John Harrison puts in £2. Do you think Tom Paris would like the shuttle? Well, I'm sure we'd love the shuttle. Lots of tactile switches, just like the Delta Flyer and his Captain Proton. Sly Void puts in $5. Tyler looks more like a prick than the intended badass. Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Oh, he was meant to be a badass?
Wow.
I don't think he's necessarily being played as a badass in this one.
He just looks. He does look like a prick, but this is where they launched the probe as well. I had real issues with this first time watching it. You see the doors open, the probe comes out, fairly substantial sized probe, and then the shuttle continues to move past the camera, and you see the airlock, and you know how much room is inside that shuttle from the interior view. You can see the airlock from the inside, and yet there's no room for that probe to exist underneath that shuttle in a compartment. I could see it attached, as you mentioned earlier in the review, to the side of the ship, to the top of the ship, even to the bottom of the ship externally, but there's nowhere for that probe to be, so that's kind of a little bit of a annoyance.
Yeah. Can have a huge problem with this. It's one of those classic conceits of, there's no space, but there's smarter. I mean, I said in the review it should have been a roll bar attachment, a science variant.
Yes.
And then there'd be no problem, just a probe variant. Because, I mean, the shuttles they're just couriers. They don't see-all, do-all, end-all. And so if you want to have a shuttle science variant, make a science variant. It wouldn't have taken much. So this is a probe. It's a small probe with it's barely, it's a fleeting close-up. I don't think we're really meant to remember what it looks like. It's so quick. Mm-hmm. And it goes in, and then all of a sudden, oh no! The shuttle gets pulled into, and vroomf. And they're gone.
And they're gone.
That was that quick and easy.
Lost in a time rift.
And didn't you see that coming a mile away?
Yes, I did. I saw it coming a couple of kilometers away. But
yeah.
Justin Murphy puts in $5. They just needed an EMP from the Matrix to kill the probe. Oh. Neo.
We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there. Yeah. Now I love this moment because Saru goes full on command badass. Now, obviously, it's very written that way, so I'm giving them credit for the point of the scene, but it is a nice moment, and it sort of swells. It feels like it swells of him, because the crew don't get much to do. It's not real ensemble. They're all there, but they're back sort of to a lower tier again. Although they all get screen time. In season 1, you didn't even know the black guy was in the cast until like episode 8, just because I don't know why. It wasn't really featured. So at least they all get reinforced. But he does some cool words and gets everyone. He makes them all work together on their own unique tasks, and I thought that was a good thing. Although again, I don't want him to be captain because he's lost who he is. But that said, you can see his lack of fear. He's allowed to be. He can have more bold in his command decisions, and I really got a feel for that. I don't know if you agree with his presentation, but it felt more assertive. The fear of judgment, the fear of being wrong. It's like, nope, I trust that judgment.
Well. Yeah, just the classic line. This mission's changed from a research mission to a rescue mission. Yeah. Very decisive and very, I agree. This is also where we find out that the radiation within this anomaly is lethal after 5 hours. So they have to get them out. And, of course, Saru comes up and says, well, Commander Stamets has a rather unique relationship with time, having tardigrade DNA. That's a brilliant idea. Let's go run down and see Stamets. So... shouldn't Burnham have taken Stamets with her, because she could have dropped him off on Vulcan because he was going for the teaching job and she was going.
I want Hugh to recover with the Vulcan people.
Yeah, meditation on Vulcan would be good for Hugh right now. And are they going to address the captain that's been waiting on Vulcan this whole time? Come on now.
Yeah, it's I like. Stamets is a weird one because they can both do anything and nothing with him, and I didn't even realise he wasn't in the show yet until they mentioned him, because he's so without the spore drive, he's unimportant in a nice way, nothing like he's retired. That's fine. But him, I'm not quite sure the time me seeing it makes as much sense as I think they think it does, because when time reset, it was immune to that. That's different to seeing inside anomaly and seeing time waves. It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I thought the same thing. He did reference the mud incident and say that he had a rather unique relationship with time. But yeah, I didn't think it correlated the same way. So that's interesting you said that too, because that went through my mind for sure.
Because it's like if he walked into the the Krenim, what would he see? All of the previous in Voyager, if he was in a one-man shuttle and warped into Krenim space, he'd be like, oh wow, I see this planet. Or this planet used to have 5 million people, and this it's not. No. But if he got hit by a time wave, he wouldn't be affected. So it's a bit too much, and they do give him superpowers in this episode. Basically, they said, oh, he's got some time thing. Will it be magic? It doesn't. And again, there's been no side effects from the tardigrade injection.
Yeah.
So therefore, why isn't everyone injecting themselves with tardigrade DNA?
Because it's human augmentation and it's looked down on by the Federation. That's why.
So true. Very, very true. Okay, I'll give you that. But you know what I mean? It's not visible. There's no bad sign, so you can easily get away with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Stamets is a little bit. Ironically, Stamets is a bit the Mary Sue in this episode. Ironically.
Yeah.
And they're tech a little bit. But again, I'll give them a call out for this bit. This shot of Vulcan landing, I'm like, damn, that's CGI. Like, damn, that's better than what we did in Enterprise. It's just lovely, just really, really nice. And it's because it's not overblown. It's just a nice, real looking shot. Just looks like Vulcan. It's great. Love it.
Yeah. Well, you know what bugged me immensely about the scene? Go to the interior. It's an obvious redress of the Klingon chambers from episode 3 or whatever it was this season. It is so clearly the exact same chambers.
Didn't even think
and not hidden very well at all. Are you going to compare them now?
Yeah, I'm going to find a picture. You talk, I'm going to find. Because I did not even think that for a second, but I love that.
Yeah, it really bugged me to no end. It's cool seeing the dripping water and the stalactites and stuff on the nice, clean, pristine floor, kind of overtaking it. That was neat. But the one scene in particular where you got the Dutch angle going on there, where Amanda and Burnham walk in, it's very... I don't know. It's obviously the same chambers. So that kind of bugged me a little bit, but they got to reuse the set, so that's fine. I just think they could have done a better job changing it up.
The presence of the Klingons is clearly somewhat underwhelming. And so, I mean, you build a framework and you redress it. I mean, what else can you do? It's not as if it really stands out much. Now, do you mean L'Rell's personal chambers, or do you mean the actual bit with the baby? And which set do you mean?
I'm pretty sure it's the L'Rell's personal chambers. I think it's the scene where he tries to wash off the
okay. Let me go
the paint that has the listening device in it for some reason.
Oh, because it's got rock in it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
just because
I don't know. They're weird angles we have of it, to be fair.
I remember one scene exactly like this, though, looking in.
Yeah, I'm trying to raise the brightness a little bit. I don't know. I bet they probably designed it knowing they were going to do multiple angles, so they use a different part of the set.
Justin, why are you yelling? We understand, but that's one of the fun points about this is to look at these kind of things and point out things that people might not notice.
He's mommy. What does that mean?
I don't know what that means, but he just said, where the hell is it now? No. He basically said, guys, stop worrying about it. It's better than no Trek. Yes, we understand, but we like pointing these things out, just the different set reuses, prop reuses.
And we're the only ones that
happens all the time in Trek, but yeah.
Like you're here to look at our analyze deep reaction. You're not here just to listen to our thoughts. I mean, that's why you're here, guys. Listen to what we think. And I didn't notice that. So therefore, I learn something. Right. So these are her sets. Definitely reflective surface. There's certainly rock. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to see as parallels, honestly.
Maybe it was the baby chamber then. I see a lot of similarities between the two. Could be the rocks.
It's definitely a better redress, though.
Oh, yeah. I have no issues with it. It just I thought I'd pointed out that that's what I immediately thought when I saw it. That's where my mind went. So,
but yes, they found Spock. Summary of that scene in their private burial crypt, sacred crypt, and this was interesting. They have Katra stones that block psychic connections, which I thought was interesting, given that the whole Katra thing isn't like a common thing. It's always an outlier in the Vulcan society, an old way. Sort of active glowing stones. I mean, is that tech? Is that... I mean, it looked like the Katra... Because if you recall, Surak was carrying a stone which they sort of put together at the end of Enterprise, and I think that was a similar stone, if not the same identical stone. But what is it? Is it tech blocking psychic? Is it? What does that mean?
I think it's a place for quiet contemplation. So you don't want other Vulcans who can also have telepathy skills reading your mind or whatever. I think it's a place where they can go to be quiet and be by themselves.
But how do they do? What are they?
I have no idea. Justin Murphy says go to the baby chamber because I think there's this room exactly like this. Anyway, while you're doing that, I'll read a super chat. 300 ruble super chat.
Thank you.
What is that thing and why does it glow? Is that a Catric arc going through Ponfar? Just throwing out Vulcan things. It's not going through. I don't know why it glows though. There's a similar thing in Enterprise for sure.
Yeah.
But it wasn't glowing.
No.
It was more of a green color too.
Okay, so this is the baby chamber, which was rock, not stone. I mean, similar arches at the back. I think that's the same arch, but beyond.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
But beyond that, oh no, it's not. No, it's too. It's too open.
Okay, then my mind must have been playing tricks on me.
Gosh.
Well, I give them credit then, because that's the first thing I saw when I saw this scene. So, But anyway.
So yeah, Amanda stashed in there 2 days ago, after they found each other. I can't remember. They might have said it, but I can't quite remember. Then we get the epic reveal of Spock in a dark corner, looking scared and frightened. Yay!
And repeating the first doctrines of logic. He's trying to ground himself. So that's good. Mike P puts in $5.
Oh, thank you.
The probe was searching for the information from the 100,000-year-old entity that downloaded all of its history. Maybe. That's interesting.
Disagree, though, because it wouldn't be on the shuttle. And they linked to the shuttle via Discovery after the fact. So I disagree.
That is true. That is true. But it's the only piece of tech from Discovery that was available for the probe to latch onto at the moment. So
I have a theory about what it was trying to find later anyway, but we'll get there.
Okay.
So what do you think of this first mention of Spock? Because I do know that some people were saying, "Wow, what a great way of showing Spock, this amazing character, this weak, broken person like that." That's his epic entrance. What did you think?
That's what we're supposed to think, because we all have a preconceived notion of who Spock is. So does Michael. So even somebody that's just watching Discovery, when they see her reaction to what Spock looks like, it's like, this is not the person he's supposed to be. So it worked perfectly, in my opinion.
I would agree.
We need an explanation, so that's why we're going to continue watching.
Yeah. No, good. I thought. I mean, the thing is, context is for kings. It really is. So him being this broken is important, and so what he does under this influence is just a representation of how powerful whatever this thing is that communicated with him is. It's a means to an end. It's a point of a point. So I'm totally fine with it the way he presented. I think Spock's fine in this episode. Yeah. We haven't seen Spock yet. We've seen this. When we get to Spock, we can judge. We haven't got there yet.
Yeah. Next scene is great, where Amanda's talking about she's not going to turn him in for murders he didn't commit. She can use diplomatic immunity to shield her son from prosecution. And then I love when Sarek comes in, and unless the ambassador disagrees, I'm like, yes, that was awesome. That was such a great scene.
Unexpected walk-in,
yeah. And then Amanda in this scene is so well done. Her character is amazing, and it's well acted, well written. The way she stands up to Sarek. Says.
Well, that's 2 scenes in the future though. Do you want to skip to that now or not?
No. We'll go in order. But
okay.
Well done, very well done.
And this is where we learn.
I forgot that it was split up. But
and this is where we see him drawing Red Angel. Or this version of Red Angel is very clearly just the one in the suit. They've now refined down the imagery to clearly the same blades, very, very viscerally the same thing. And he must have been carving this for the full 2 days, because there's a pretty intense carvings.
I wonder if he's going to get charged with vandalism.
I think it's fine. It's his crypt too. Morbid! Yeah, I wondered how he found... I mean, I'm sure he wasn't that deep in meditation. I'm sure he sensed Burnham was there. But it's interesting that... I mean, did they have to walk? I got the sense they had to shuttle to the crypt, or do you think they just had to walk to the crypt?
They had to shuttle, because the shuttle was outside, remember?
Oh, yeah, it is the shuttle. Yeah.
Adam Boots puts in 2 pounds.
Hey.
I think the stone is the Kirshara from Enterprise. Yeah.
I think it's meant to
John
be
Harrison
about
puts in
the
2
same.
pounds.
Let me actually just Google what it looks like. Oh, hi, John again.
Yeah. The planet Talos 4, have we had it before? Yes.
Is he making... Are you joking, John? Are you joking? He may be. I don't know.
But what if he's not? You're going to make him feel stupid.
Nope.
Don't do that.
Nope.
Talos 4 is pretty important in Trek. So.
Although also not important. It's both. It's like a...
It's a bit of both, yes.
And yes, it very much looks like Kashara, but way more interesting. This is like the what sarcophagus was trying to be. Very ornamental, carved. The other one's actually very simple.
Hackle, I agree. Hackle said, did he carve a treble clef? Musical note, and there's one right there above the legs. It looks exactly like it, but anyway.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing a second ago. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to sound stupid.
Yeah. Okay, so then they are told to stop getting closer, I believe, to the... No, they're inside the thing, aren't they? Oh, because they jump through time a little bit, and they see the red burst, yes. And it's from the past. And he says they're traveling through time. Then he points out, oh no, we could be traveling through all points of time. Which I thought was an interesting concept, that time rifts just allow you to everything. It's like, not sure that's necessarily how a rift works, but sure. And then is this the one where they have? Yeah, then they have the plan, which I thought was interesting.
Oh.
The and how aggressive Tyler was. I mean, I think Tyler feels like he knows best now. He's
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't have to explain anymore.
Yeah, I totally buy that. But yeah, this is where Pike has the plan of ejecting the plasma through the nacelles and igniting it as kind of like a flare, which we saw, of course, in Galileo 7. That's what Spock did. And that's something they teach test pilots at the Academy, so that they can be found should they need to be. And we'll find that out in a minute. But yeah,
although
really, really interesting. But yeah, conserve your fuel at the same time. Both have good points.
Yeah.
And that comes in important later, actually.
But it was interesting how willingly he is going against command, because he still outranks them, and he's been, Pike is now effectively his commanding officer of the ship he's stationed on. Although they're still thinking two-dimensionally, because they're in a time rift. Laws don't work, rules don't work. Ejecting plasma and expecting it to ignite and stay it's an out of the throw the rule book out the window sort of scene. So it's weird to have such a two-dimensional plan in a four-dimensional way, which we sort of get reference to later, but it's still luckily it worked. But if it didn't, that'd be a problem.
It didn't make any sense to me to ignite plasma in that whole vortexy thing and to have them be seen. It didn't make sense, but anyway, that's fine. It was a nice callback to Galileo 7.
I love the transition as well between the shuttle and the they're doing really good with transitions in this show. Imagery to imagery. Real standout for the visual language of this season.
I got to point out to a line that Pike says, we could be together for all eternity. Because they're living past, present, and future all at the same time, and if they get stuck, damn.
But it's just a joke, obviously.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And this is also where Tyler says, I think you're guilty about not participating in the war.
Yes.
That's why you took this mission.
Feel guilty. His real guilt is yet to be seen, but feels guilty.
Yeah. Pike kind of shoots him down on that. Tells him to obey orders. And great scene. I love the way things played out with that. So.
Yeah, it was... I mean, it's weird to feel so guilty, And putting yourself at this much risk isn't quite. I mostly buy it, but not fully. And guys, again, 120 likes. Click that like button, guys. 259 people watching. Click that like button. Want to see 150? Although only one dislike. Sometimes we have like 8 by now, but
yes.
Yes.
Anyway, the following scene.
Time stuff.
Yes, the following scene is like the time blender.
Time blender.
I love how they use analogies to explain things, like putting too much air into a balloon, like catching a grain of sand in a hurricane with tweezers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, well, even Stamets can't help now. But no, we can. We can somehow transport through this mess.
But yeah, I do love the TOS reference-ness of that, because it's such a nice thing. And you can imagine real people like using analogies, especially when, as we said earlier, Pike was a test pilot. He happened to be command because he's good at command. He's not good at the science or this or this or this. So to your botanist friend, going quantum mechanics isn't going to be helpful to him. So yeah, simplify it. It actually makes sense in terms of everyone being such a specialist. And I like how Stamets is so out of the loop, he doesn't even know there's an anomaly. Because why would he? So he walks out like, oh, shit, this is happening. Guys, crap. I like that. It's a nice little, it's like real life is happening at the same time. Because I can imagine he was with Hugh, honestly. I can imagine he was still helping him recover. And it's been, not that long. But Stamets sees it as a what does he say? He sees it as an anomaly, not a distortion. He sees it as, I don't know. It's a confusing thing. But anyway, now you've got the Sarek moment.
Yes. This is where they say it's a sacred crypt with Kotrick scripts. So, yay. This also goes into the whole learning disabilities thing for Spock, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Because people with learning disabilities like dyslexia or whatever, like I admit I have like mild dyslexia and stuff, and a lot of times they work a lot harder to overcome that. And early on it doesn't show, but later in life it tends to get them super focused on things and they become really good. So I have no issues with that, to be honest. And the fact that it's from her side, Amanda's side, and that's one of the reasons he was bullied even more as a kid. I think it actually is a great addition to the Spock character. A lot of people have been up in arms about it, saying Spock shouldn't have a learning disability. I'm going to disagree with that. I think it was actually good and well done, to be honest, because it's never really mentioned again, because why would it be? He's overcome it. He's become one of the best, first officer in Starfleet. So I have no issues with it. And it would explain a lot of his difficulties as a young kid. So yes, he is a half-blood grid cube.
Yeah, and I just want to comment on someone said there were men to Losians in TOS. Pretty sure they're exclusively women actors. Exclusively.
Yeah, at least two of the three were. The other one looks male, but I think it was also a female.
No, I'm pretty sure that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
I was intrigued by this. It's one of those things you didn't need to give Spock a disability. And it's one of the things we said about doing a prequel and doing, bad Trek can be worse than no Trek at all, because you can actively ruin characters and events and actions by adding new things.
Yeah.
You're making Spock slow. But in the context of how that fits into his life, by TOS, which is only a few years away, and still in this era, he is the second in TOS. He's the second in command of the 12 best ships of the fleet. He's one of the best Vulcans in Starfleet, most respected. That's a huge rank to have, and yes, Starfleet might not be as prestigious as Vulcan Science Expeditionary Force, but in the grander scheme, it certainly gets. I mean, I'm sure by TNG, that's more prestigious than being the Vulcan. The roles reverse as it gets more universal, and so he pushes past a learning difficulty which sets him underneath other Vulcans, and he goes beyond that to be incredibly talented, have a very successful command, very successful career, be the ambassador to Romulus. I mean, it doesn't affect his life at all.
Yeah,
he's one of the most famous Vulcans ever.
His early life, yeah, absolutely, and we
Yeah,
see signs of that all through Trek canon,
all through it. Yeah.
even the Kelvin verse, and definitely in the animated series when you see him as a kid.
Yep.
So I have no issues with it. It actually explains quite a bit. Yeah, sure, he's a half breed that the Vulcan kids might pick on because he's half human, but he doesn't come off as looking half human necessarily. So not everybody would know that. But if he has a learning disability, then if they think, oh, you're half human, you're stupid, you're inferior, it makes a lot more sense. So I'm down with that.
Yeah, I mean, it weakens Spock on a very surface level, but it really shows how strong he is. And like you say,
Yeah.
I never thought bullying made sense on Vulcan based on race. That seemed very, very against it. But based on intelligence,
Yeah.
it makes a little bit more sense. I mean, it's not good, but in an evolved society where intelligence is hugely important, to bully because you're dumb or not as smart. You've only got 260 IQ, not 290, so that's 200, but 290. I can see the Vulcan kids doing that far. So it actually deepens that a bit more. And honestly, him being a half, why wouldn't he? Those genes are not necessarily the best at merging. So yeah, he has a really simple. It's not like it's a life-threatening. It's not like it's even that difficult disability. It's just a slight learning. Can't learn as fast as the Vulcans. I mean, but yeah, he's not fully Vulcan, so I think it's not a bad thing. Sorry.
Yeah. And Amanda's great in this scene. Like I said earlier, it was well written, well performed, a great character piece for her. Definitely built on her character. She talks about she read the book Alice in Wonderland with Spock to show him that it's fine to to get through life when things that are up seem down and left seems right, and that leads back to one of the first times we saw the young Michael with Amanda being read the book, and Spock is standing there looking sad because that used to be him that was getting read to and getting the attention.
Yeah. Which we called.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love the tie-in, and I love how Sarek's like obsession with a book about your obsession with a book about chaos has done a disservice to our children. And she disagrees because it helped him deal with his emotions and with the way that he was perceiving the world at the time. So I thought it was a great scene between the two of those. Herbal Essences puts in 5 pounds. It's just Herbal Essences, Captain. And I'm the only one who thought Amanda came off as a total nutcase in this episode. I didn't think she came. I think she came off as a protective mother, and somebody
which could go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody that's had to deal with Vulcans her whole life. Yeah, I didn't see her as a nutcase, but I can see why somebody might think that.
It's tricky because the whole overly powerful woman agenda could be seen in things they do. The way she was written, I thought, was a nice balance because she wasn't just saying I'm better. She was, saying, "Don't use ambassador on me. We're partners.
Try again, husband."
Exactly.
That was such a great line.
Yeah, don't use that. Talk to me as a person. So that's such a gentle simplicity because obviously there's so much love there. There has to be. She deals with a lot of shit. And with 3 kids, he had, the Cybok kid and the Burnham kid, and all this stuff with a society which doesn't treat her well. They probably treat her best because of her rank, but not of who she is. That's not easy because she loves him and she must know he loves her. And I think you do get that sense in this scene that and this is what I said to someone else, is that because he does break down a bit, and I saw it very much as he's in this old Vulcan location, but he hasn't got Vulcans around him to back him up. He's dealing with a purely human room. Spock's not dealing with him. So he's having, he's being brought out of him is the emotional stuff. The stuff that he's normally having to repress doesn't have to here. And he feels okay enough that obviously he must love these people. This room is his family, except Cybok, who
and the scene ended beautifully because they're like, well, he's using logic. He's like, Spock's mind contains information that the Federation desperately needs right now. So we kind of have to turn him in. But he even said to Burnham, your career will once again be on the rocks if you do this because you're an idiot. So he's not prepared to lose both his children on the same day. But it was just a great scene, and it came off really, really well done, in my opinion.
Like he lost it. He almost lost it for a second, but it's 1 second of that just, you know, Vulcans are filled with emotions. To think they're emotionless is not understanding the core of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine what he's dealing with right now? I can't. You know, it's difficult. I'm to live all these different societal rules and such. And so he's saying, tomorrow, my legacy could be destroyed. My kids, what I've put into them. You know. So yeah, I like those little breaks, tiny break. It's good. Mm-hmm. It humanizes me. It really, I think that's that actor's greatest moment as Sarek. You know.
Yeah.
And Spock, I would love to see Leonard Nimoy watch that and be like, ooh, he had that little bit of emotion that I've always only used for emotional occasions. You know. So I quite appreciated that. And yeah, like I said, it's very very logical. Like we can't do anything. A hospital here can't do anything. We both know Section 31 is the magic secret organization that has mega ultra power. Let's send them to them. The secret people.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Steele puts in $4.99. When are we going to see Discovery's engineering? Where are they going to fit it with the wonky elevator roller coaster ride inside? We have no idea. Hopefully we see it eventually at some point.
It's just not needed yet for the season. But I think what will happen is the Spore drive room will be unbuilt and rebuilt as main engineering.
Yeah.
Because you just don't need Spore tech in season 2. You just or 3. So I think that'll be the. They've got a set that's redundant, so use it.
Yes. So this is where they run into the probe in the anomaly. The probe they just launched is now internally dated around 500 years.
Yes.
But it decides to attach itself all matrix squid-like onto the front of the shuttle and start attacking it, which
unexpected twist.
It's a great visual. Looks like something out of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a squid attacking the Nautilus or something. But
this was definitely a weird turn in the episode. They're introducing more, and 500 years, quite a way. And to have a teeny probe be given so much juice, although I'm wondering, is actually, because if I'm trying to, they say it was augmented, but that's a very, what does that mean exactly? But if you look at it, and again, I apologize, you're going to be out of sync, but when they first see it and it's very small, what I'm getting the sense of is actually the back part is the probe, because the probe is very small and linear. It's not like a big probe. And then it's that entire front module with the thrusters and the gripping, that's just attached onto it.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of the vibe I got too.
Yeah.
Kind of like Nomad. It was kind of amalgamation.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Nomad's good.
Yeah.
And then we get Section 31 ship. You can just.
Ooh, yes.
You can just drive up to a Section 31 ship.
Okay, I have some issues here. So they're around Kaminar, which is the Saru's home planet.
Yes, sir.
And she shuttles to Vulcan.
Yes, she
then
does.
She shuttles from Vulcan to the Section 31 ship.
Yes, she does.
And then in a minute, they say we're 4 hours away from Starbase 23. Yes, why don't you go ahead of us with the shuttle, have a nap, and we'll meet you there. Basically, that's what they said. And I'm like, wow. No regard for any kind of, spatial relationships here. It was just, oh my God. I don't know how far Kaminar is from Vulcan, but I'd like to find out because...
Well, it's meant to be out... Well, it's out of Federation space. They don't own Kaminar.
It is, yes.
And they travel by shuttle. And these shuttles can't be more than warp 5. That'd be absurd. You'd assume like warp 3, and that's pushing it, It's a class... I mean, I didn't even notice that, to be honest. But yeah, she's warp jumping... Star Wars style. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm here. There we go. And she at least spent a day on Vulcan. Style. I mean, at least a day. I'm sorry, she can't. It wasn't like 45 minutes that she convinced everyone to do everything. Yeah, but to be fair, we don't know the events, these two stories actually being parallel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But still, I find it silly that she's all over the place in a shuttle.
I didn't even consider that. Yeah, and it's like. I mean,
because the shuttle has racing stripes. Yes, so they took the racing shuttle out.
And I know you said specifically that the nap thing was stupid. Like, you never for once buy that's a serious offer. Like, it's such a hello. Why don't you go do this? Yes, we'll keep you in the loop. It's like, you're talking shit. You're talking not. It's so he's not even doing it well. But it's like, I know she can't be on the ship, but this ship can go much faster. If you're going there too, just put her in crew quarters for the 30 minutes
or
to get
confine
there.
her to her shuttle in your shuttle
Oh,
bay.
that's good. Oh, I like that. To make her travel 4 hours when you can be there in 35 minutes. For what, the view?
Well, I assume they said that they were 4 hours away with the Section 31 ship. So.
Oh, so that'd be like 10 hours for her. Like, what?
Yeah, how's she gonna get there first and have a nap?
It's a waste of everyone's time. I don't get it. I've never got that.
Anyway.
But it was just to get off the ship, isn't it? Because once you get off the ship, you can't get back on.
Yeah.
But yes, the Section 31 ship.
And the Empress. There's the whole conversation about, I wish I got to know my mother and manipulate her. And Burnham's like, did you kill her? It's a blur.
Yeah, I didn't quite like that bit. It's like, either commit to her being an evil badass or stop and make her likable. Or something in between. I'm just like, oh yeah, she's a real shit. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then they say they're going to scan and repair Spock's neural impulses. And Georgiou shoots Burnham a look like, which was cool. I didn't notice it the first time. Second time I did. Before we get into that, though, there's a 300 ruble super chat. The shuttle has a switch with 3 positions: normal speed, ludicrous speed, and JJ speed. By the way, even Amanda knows about Section 31. I like that. I like the JJ speed.
Yeah.
It's got a Kronos in a day from Earth.
And back.
Kronos.
At least it didn't do that heavily accented. Yeah. I found this whole device thing funny because at the time I was thinking, no, it can't do that. That's too much. It can't do that. I was like, oh, it can't do that. That was too much. It was just trying to convince her. It's a very manipulative scene, but he's too positive. He plays it a little bit too friendly and nice.
A little bit, but he comes off as likable, though. He really does.
Yeah, but the problem with that, though, is that now we know everything. Everything he's saying is bullshit. All of it.
But is it, though? Or is Georgiou bullshitting her? Maybe they were going to help Spock, and Georgiou's trying to put that seed in Michael's brain that they're not.
I don't know. That's interesting. That's real interesting. Okay, no, I'll give you that.
Because you can't trust anyone in Section 31, and we sure as hell know we can't trust Georgiou because she's Georgiou. So
Space Hitler. Space Hitler. Hitless.
Yes, Space Hitler. But yeah, this whole conversation, you can't be on the ship. You know, go ahead to Starbase 23. It's just stupid beyond stupid.
Well, it's just like Lorca traveling back to Discovery at Impulse.
On a shuttle, it gets kidnapped by a D7.
Let's travel 14 hours at Impulse. We can just go to warp and be there in 25 minutes. Yeah. Stupid.
Anyway. Yeah, so good scene. I did like Leland in this, though. I'm enjoying his character. I don't know how to take him yet, whether at face value or really apply that Section 31 layer to him and just have him be duplicitous. But
well, I love your idea that we did our main review, which is Georgiou is the reason Section 31 has to go, red listed.
Super secret again.
Yeah, but he's actually the much more balanced in overallness. I don't know. Because the problem is, if he isn't this nice, then everything we're seeing of him, all of his screen time is a farce, and then we don't know anything about him. So it's wasting the time with him a little bit, because it'll wipe the slate clean. Bit of a shame. It depends. And did you like how all of the Section 31 ships are black inside as well? All the rooms.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't literally have to be black.
It's Black Ops, man. Literally.
But it's hard to see, and it's just not. And I mean, just why? It doesn't need to be black, guys. It can just be a normal Starfleet. But then we'd complain if there's a redress. Well, so can't win either way. I
guess. They're pulling the whole Vengeance thing. Vengeance was the same way.
I know they are. So Burnham gives Spock a hug.
Yes.
That's nice. It's like, wake up, Spock! Wake up! I need you. You're gonna hate me so much when I wake up, but it's okay.
Yes. Next scene is where we find out that burning the plasma is an old trick to alert search parties. First thing you learn in like flight school.
Do you know that guy's name?
No.
Nope.
The black guy, not the. Somebody's named Bryce. Is this Bryce? No. Bryce is the black guy.
Bryce. Also, Grid Cube, they reference control a whole lot. So what is control?
Who? Section 31?
Yeah.
Well, that would be their. Who's pulling the strings for them. So somebody else. Probably in the Admiralty, that's Section 31.
Yeah. Well, I assume there's lots of different sects, there's lots of different subgroups, and they're the people that send out orders. So it's less of a uniform structure, more like a single thing of bobs and bibs. And I was fine with that. It's just their Starfleet command, just more whatever. Yeah, so they take this information to Stamets, who I like to just says, wow, I'm really rusty because I'm looking at this and I just see nothing. It just looks like you're just throwing stuff at a wall. He's like, oh no, it's fine.
Your math is solid. Yeah.
The one of it was now, one of it's a week ago, one of it's like in the future. I just still don't think that I don't see him as being able to see a 2-dimensional travel inside a 3D dimensional, sorry, inside a 4-dimensional rift. It's not. It can't be that literally linear to be able to see its journey, because there isn't. Well, they did say it's circling like a plug, which I thought was an interesting analogy. Again, didn't quite make sense to me, because then if it's a time thing, it's both already through the plug, starting the plug, middle of the plug,
and so not existed yet.
Yeah. So where's the route? It's all been done at the same time. If that's the nature of which they implied earlier, it's fine if it's like traveling back in time or forward in time. There's very specific repercussion ones, like in Interstellar. They're on that planet, and because the gravity's so much thicker, it's 6 times the time, and it ages one of the characters' years. That's a very distinct temporal reaction. So it got a little bit like suspension of disbelief here. It's a little bit too much for me. A little bit. Like I say, it's like 25% too much.
25%. Comes up a lot, that number.
It does.
Thomas Macaulay puts in $2.99 Australian. The Red Angel is the V'ger being at the end of TMP. So Will Decker and Ilea probe. Somebody had called that out before. We'll have to wait and see.
No, I doubt it. Thank you, though.
Next scene is Squidward attacking the shuttle here.
And that's such a shot from, like, The Matrix. I mean, that one in particular is just crazy.
This is where they close the shutters, but they don't actually close because light's still coming through. But that's fine. It could just be like a transparency of some kind. I
thought that, but I would assume the strongest materials aren't transparent.
Well, yeah.
It is just. I was very taken aback by that, because it's never been a thing.
Yeah, I know. I marked down that it was stupid. It's Voyager armor tech.
Yeah, or don't have windows. Have a view screen then. Like, if you have to put armor down, don't have it and have armor on the front of the hull normally, just have a view screen. Like, you're making our argument for us. Look how weak this window is. They'll get through the window. You know, it's just. Yeah. I don't know.
This next scene bugs me immensely because the arm comes right through the shuttle roof, and there's no like decompression of the shuttle. There's no force field that flares up. It does look blue there, but
there is a force shield there, but it's still going through shields.
It took me out of it for a minute.
You can go through shields. Like, they stop things. Like, I can understand if it was something that just goes through shields, but then it would go through all of them, so it'd be much more effective than it seems to be being, because only one tentacle seems to go through. Although you'd assume that 25th century can modulate its tentacles to go through shields. Not what I'm concerned about, but
anyway, it just seems like the shuttle should have depressurized right away, because there's a pretty gaping hole in there that the tentacle's coming through.
Yeah.
And it's firing like it's got like a force field that automatically went up. It's blue, but so's the rest of the outside right now. So it was just awfully done.
I think they realized, damn, this set is really small. How the hell are we going to do such an intensive scene? And we're like, we'll just do it. Like, it doesnn't quite. It's one of those classic scenes where you don't quite understand what's happening, but stuff's happening. You know?
Yeah.
And I like there's a gun rack at the back. I don't remember there being a gun rack in the previous scenes. It's just there. Pick your gun.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is cool.
And the big monitor at the back. That's kind of neat.
Which I'll focus on in a minute, or have I already passed it? Because there's a specific moment when it shows the probe, and guess what? This high-tech monitor calls the probe when they scan it.
What?
Have a guess. See if you can.
Squiddy.
New probe.
New probe.
Literally, that's what the computer calls it. I don't know if I take a screen cap of that, but it's I had a little giggle, and so I was like, "Oh, just new probe." It's not a bad name, it's just a little bit funny to me anyway. Where is it?
Yeah. Yes. All right. So, anyway, this thing attacks Tyler. Pike saves Tyler, shoots the tentacle. Piece breaks off. Then it flies into the console and starts instantly downloading the ship's data core.
Or searching. So there's data breach. I got it more as searching, but it's both. And it's interesting that it shows the an older version of Discovery here.
What's the Gagarin?
No, the middle one. Because it's got the in the first picture.
Oh, yeah,
it's got the smaller nacelles that go forward further.
Yes, which looks a lot better.
It's weird actually. And then the Gagarin's another bit, and it shows the drone, what's it called, the radar, and it shows the Gagarin again, some nice orthos, and then a pillar of some kind, and then another ship, and then it zooms people back, which is quite an advanced piece of tech that it can be a tentacle squid, survive past it, download a thing, lots of things.
Zarkon D. Grissom puts in $5. What is up with the bicentennial woman getting infected with the Cylon virus? LOL. And why wasn't Dittmer 709 also infected? Because she wasn't trying to lock it out at the time, and because she's just got like an ocular implant. It's not like she's half Cylon.
Oh, I wouldn't think that Detmer at all. It's not the same thing.
No.
I'm sure that keeps her alive. Like that helps.
Last night on my live first reaction, I looked up what Arium was. They don't even know in Memory Alpha. She's been half alien, half cyborg. She's been enhanced human. She's been human and whatever. That's what the actress has been saying. But they don't even know. So, anyway.
Yeah, because we got called out last time for people saying, "Oh no, she and the cast have said she's a bionic human." It's like, No, I don't know. Yeah. I see, bionic alien is fine because it's different level of tech and different race, but human devalues data a lot. And other things like
I agree. Next scene is they decide to transport through the event horizon to get on the shuttle and just talk. You're groaning over me. Stop that. It looks like Tilly is limping here. It looks like the actress might have hurt her leg because she was kind of stumbling to keep up with them. But anyway, trust the math, trust yourself. There's no one else I'd rather have beam me through time. Interesting scene, but I don't buy it. He would be like smeared all over the inside of this tsunami. I don't buy that it worked.
Why
but
not?
I mean, maybe because I don't understand math. Maybe there's a real explanation. I just don't.
Well, why don't you think so? I mean, we talked about our review, but obviously people are here to look at our live review.
Well, because the shuttle's occupying all past, present, and future at the same time, and it's within a whole vortex of anomalies, and I don't buy it. I don't know. It just seemed like a cop out to me, and it was so quickly done too.
Yeah. The implication, they also get out of it, even though later on, even though they say it's impossible on their side, he programs manual coordinates transported to beam them to and from. But that doesn't help you get through the radiation.
Yeah.
And the waves and the time. It's not. There's more than one task here to deal with. There's more than one adversary in it. And just this is not like TOS is not that advanced. Enterprise E tech I could buy, relativity certainly, but Discovery transport tech really they can beam through a time rift.
Yeah.
And he does say he beams from 10 minutes in the future, which means he picks a point in the trajectory before the shuttle, because the shuttle blows up within those 10 minutes. So luckily he did those 10 minutes, otherwise he would have beamed in after and it would have blown up. Why didn't he beam in earlier? Why didn't he beam in as it started? I mean, like, it's a time thing. So that changes the game.
The only one he could calculate was the 10-minute in the future one, I guess. I don't know.
Past.
There's probably a reason.
Oh, but yeah.
When he beams on, he says, "Don't worry, I'm here 10 minutes in the future, Alex. It's complicated. I beam in 10 minutes from now," kind of thing, is what he says.
Yeah. So it's 10 minutes in the past to what we see.
Okay.
That's what I mean. It doesn't quite...
150 rubles. No, he says he beams it in the future, but they're all experiencing past, present, and future at the same time. So anyway, 150 ruble super chat, 3 red dots. That's not a Cylon. That's Brainiac. Orville's shuttle. It is Brainiac.
Have you seen Supergirl? Or do you know it from the comics?
Have I seen who and the what now?
Brainiac is a...
Yes, I know who Brainiac is.
Oh,
I know all about Brainiac.
How'd you know?
Because I'm a Superman fan.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it? Is it very different to? Oh, it is very different to the. Oh, it's Brainiac 5. Different to Brainiac. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, beams in very easy. I do love how he acts this scene though. It's so
Excuse
chill.
me, Captain.
Yeah. So
okay,
chill.
I'm here 10 minutes from now. What? It was a good scene. I liked it.
And it's downloading more information, download on the sarcophagus ship, on some planets, on the shuttle. I just thought it was interesting to screen cap this and just see what it was doing. And they do repeat. It's the same like 9 images again and again and again. And
that's what they tend to do even in TNG when they do the... Yeah.
Certainly. And he does manage to get them on a course out of a time rift via impulse engines.
Magic, baby.
Yep. And so far that now the guys can see them on Discovery. They zoom in. It's like, oh no, it's a time squid. Where's the squid? Oh no. Yeah, look, it's a thing.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, we gotta beam out.
But we can't.
That's later.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we've run out of power.
This is where Arium is attempting to lock out because Stamets is like, oh, it's downloading the data core. So Arium's like, it's on it. I'm on it. Attempting to lock it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then this is also where the burning the plasma didn't pan out so great because they're trying to get closer to Discovery and the engines flare out and they say, we're out of plasma, we can't move. So both Ash and Pike were right, I guess, even though the plasma really really wasn't what drew attention to their shuttle, I don't think. But anyway,
both right at different times. I mean, it's contextual, isn't it? They were both lucky. Oh, I like how for some reason all the engine power turns off when they run out of fuel.
Yeah,
it's not quite how that works, but okay. Especially as only the bottom bits are the things that propel. The top bits are just lights, you assume? Because
I've always thought they all kind of act as thrust.
Well, okay, fine. Even the door side lights turn off.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I did not notice that. So.
It's a classic visual cue, but it's like, and then power.
Oh,
lovely shot of Discovery.
Yeah.
Then
it's Section 31 time.
Yeah. She walks out of the bridge because best thing is let her on the bridge. She's not allowed on the shot. Let her in the bridge. Why? Because the only other set we've got. That's actually good.
Burnham, baby.
Why let her on the bridge? Like, you've now seen 20 agents' faces. It's actually really bad.
And she can remember every one of them, I guarantee you.
Well, of course she can. She's Michael Burnham.
Right. And this is where Georgiou comes up to her and says, that's a memory extractor. They're going to destroy your brother's mind. And then she goes on to tell Burnham that she knows much more about Burnham than she can possibly imagine. It implies to me that she's got a hold of her folder or information. And I think it links in with what she says to Leland later in a minute. Yeah, good scene. I can't stand her. The fight's hilarious. Takes her by surprise, and then let's try that again once more with feeling.
Yeah,
really well done.
I hadn't thought that she's referring specifically the mother thing. I got it as I've known you in the parallel universe. In my universe, I know all your deepest, darkest things. I know all your secrets. She was also orphaned.
That's part of it, but I think the way she said it, it's like she knows more about this Burnham specifically, because she's creeped through Section 31's files, and then later we find out the reveal that we're going to get to in a second.
On second watch, I agree with you completely. Yeah.
Okay.
But it did seem odd that she's trying to help. I mean, she must have a really interesting agenda to be this relatively helpful.
Well, she wanted to make Leland look bad, so that's good for her. Like, she explains it, and the way she explains it is hilarious.
Yeah. And guys, do remember, have your voices heard by Super Chats. We've got 279 people, 146 likes. Comment anything on a Super Chat. We'll read it out, talk about
what you
want. 146.
Oh, I thought you said 246.
So that would be nice. So guys, do Super Chat, because we want to hear what you think. Let us know what you think of the episode, and make us talk about anything specific, past, present, or future of this episode. Really important to support the show. Thanks, man. So we'll please do help the channel.
I found the screenshot you were talking about of the new probe. It does say underneath original probe, though, so it's just comparing schematic wise the original probe with the new probe. So that's cool. It's not really named that. It just
it's just a little bit funny.
Yeah, this is where we are going to self-destruct the shuttle, which that shuttle looks really nothing like the shuttle they're in. It looks kind of compressed. Could just be the angle of the screen, but anyway.
I thought this was very abrupt. Yeah. We're gonna blow up in 10 seconds. Boom us out in 10 seconds. What? Oh shit! Boom us out! Boom us out!
No!
It's like, at least let us plan for a second.
And the weirdest bunch of explosions around the ship before it blows up. Like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, boom! I thought for sure the probe was going to get away, because it's like it keeps exploding and it's like moving away from it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to jump off and kind of make it out.
Yep.
But
I 100% anyway. The same. And surely, an explosion is the warp core. It's not TNT around the ship. It's a warp core explosion, so it should be in the middle, and one blow.
Depending.
Boom.
It could be like the Enterprise, where there's different kinds of self-destruct. It could be the warp core. It could be the bridge first.
Yes, this is true.
But I kind of doubt it. It seems overcomplicated. Yes. Again, there we go, using our technology brains to overthink it. And this is also where Arium gets infected by the 3 red dots. Dun dun dun.
Which was, I think, probably the best little reveal-y moment. Yeah, Hook. That and the Talos. Like I said in our review, I wasn't fully sold on this episode until we got to this. Until it was like, I mean, the squid was interesting, but it wasn't quite formed. It has a concept yet, but this is like, ooh, that's just something to wrap our heads around. I mean, I took this very much as the probe, which is the anti-Red Angel. It's a force trying to do bad things. It has now found the opportunity to use the link with Discovery, because it's all advanced tech. It's a presumably living tech of some form, to infect this crew member and have a spyware on board this contemporary thing, which up until this point they didn't have a chance to do, because it was all time based, and I'm sure the Red Angels are doing things to stop them from going back in time, and so they got a freebie when it comes to an agent. I thought it was a really nice little twist.
And I can see this leading into the, as we saw in Calypso with the Discovery's AI, I can see somehow Arium becoming the Discovery's AI at some point as a result of this, perhaps, because it is quite an advanced artificial intelligence. So it could be a link. I'm just kind of calling it now. Then, of course, Burnham is rescuing Spock, shooting people, stealing a shuttle, and what a great face on Georgiou, where she like shoots her, and Burnham's like, "And get the hell out of here!" Like that was kind of, I kind of like that moment, to be honest.
It was
I don't
good
like,
goof.
I don't like Georgiou very much, but that was a great Georgiou moment.
It was the actress thinking, "How the hell should I do this? I'll just try something," and they loved it. Well, they did find it funny how this cool Section 31 gun, which I really thought needed slightly more than 1 second of screen time, someone just shoots everyone, and it's just like, oh, it's all cool, it's fine.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. So they get Tyler and Pike back, and
did you notice the black shuttles, by the way? With different nacelles. in the corner of the shuttle bay. They got different angles and blue nacelles.
I did not notice
much more
that.
TMP.
Now I have.
Because the other shuttles don't have that same grilling.
That's interesting.
Makes sense. Because it's a much more real size shuttle bay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But it's true. I believe there's a super chat waiting for your attentions. From
is there?
Hackle.
There is. Hackle. $2. Thank you very much. Why didn't Sarek try to mind meld with Spock? Because probably he was concerned that it would infect him as well. Because Spock was very mentally unbalanced, mentally broken. So probably that's why, just as a safety precaution.
And also I apologize, but Tajesh Patel says Sarek didn't mind well Spock because canon says he never did. Which is also very true.
That is true, yeah.
Put him to the slight corner there, but that would have been a smart plan at the time.
Yeah. All right, so Tyler and Pike are back aboard Discovery.
He's happy to be back.
This is where Tilly says it's like a time tsunami that's going to explode and, wipe us out. It was one time where time doesn't make it cooler. So, yeah. Also, we get a little bit of a Tyler and Pike moment. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, Discovery warps away between the planet and the explosion. So I guess the explosion hits the planets, kills the Ba'ul and the Kelpians.
Time.
Who cares, right?
What is a time tsunami? And why is it so dangerous he's got to leave straight away? Instant.
I have no idea. A time tsunami. I just assumed that different parts of the ship would be hit with different time zones. Or different time zones, different time.
This ship is 12 hours ahead. This part of the ship.
Yeah.
I agree, but that hitting the planet will cause massive ecological damage. All the plants in this 2-mile radius are now, 6,000 years old and dead. And this part of the planet is now 2,000 years in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs the lack of giving a damn where they are saddens me, and they're never going to mention it again. This is a non-consequence event on a major homeworld of one of our characters, which he should be actively throughout the entire episode being worried. I mean, to be fair, he's had minutes, hours, and to report back to Kelpia.
I can see them throwing a single line in the beginning of the next episode saying that Kamamar is fine.
Yeah.
Just as a retcon, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
anyway, this is
159 likes. Come on, guys, 280 people. We need 180 likes at least. It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Got the like button.
Anyway, this is where we get the Tyler and Pike love fest. Tyler's concerned that the Red Angel is either there to end something or to start something, so we're not really sure. He's got the pessimistic Section 31 attitude. Yeah. Pike's got the other opposing attitude, and this is where that whole we're going to fight for the future. And Pike says, well, Mr. Tyler, we are always in a fight for the future. But they used a different edit that they used in the trailers and stuff, which I found interesting because I was waiting for that moment. Totally different edit, totally different delivery. Why? I don't know. But it works. But at least they respect each other now because they're like, you saved me. You were right about the whole feeling guilt thing. That's why I took this. Yeah. And you were right about the plasma. And... Hey, buddy, we're getting along now.
Yeah, respect is earned. Tyler's only done bad things and stuff that, would make him a questionable officer. He's working for a questionable group. I mean, he's got no cred with this guy, but he took on a mission. He instinctively, tried to save a guy that if he was being a Klingon, it's not necessarily honourable to let him die, but he's a weird half thing. Letting him get killed and blah 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 blah, and he did respect his orders, and it's. I do think it's a bit too wrapped up in a bow.
Well, I think it's wrapped up. And Christopher Pike's not a stupid person. He's still going to distrust Tyler, I think, but there's a little bit of respect earned.
I agree, but I think the tone of that discussion was a little bit too positive. Like, dude, fist bump. There's more like, hey, we did it, bro. It's just a little bit.
Yeah. But I agree. I still think they're going to knock heads occasionally. Because...
I hope so. Well, but knock heads is different to actively being a bit of a dick to him.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's going to get a little bit better. So.
And did you not think when they said fight for the future that you thought fighting for Star Trek canon and making the show correct Star Trek again like the way he said that.
I
It's
got
like
to admit, I thought it once or twice. Yeah.
yeah, it's like we're always fighting for Star Trek canon. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna take that as a voiceover clip and put it in front of videos. It's like we're always fighting for the future. Da 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 da. Here's Star Trek canon.
Fred Wicks, I will get to super chat in just a second. We just might as well close out with this last few notes I have, and then we'll address your super chat.
Oh yeah, I forgot notes.
So here we get a shot of Ariam's eyes. She's infected with the whatever. And then we're on the Section 31 ship, and this is where Georgiou is kind of basically like, Leland, you're responsible for the death of Michael's parents because he turned her into Batman. Mind your manners. You're no longer calling the shots. And this is, I called this from the beginning, that when she got in Section 31, she would use her craftiness to, anyway, turn the tables on them.
And then it ends with three Section 31 ships flying off into the distance. And we'll skip through and I'll jump back in a second. And then she realizes that Spock has been saying the coordinates, which I think we all thought coordinates was the most obvious thing. Yeah. Coordinates of Stardate, but I thought coordinates. And then computer backwards. Only one location. Stuart, what is the location?
Talos 4.
Okay.
That's where the cage happened 3 years earlier. A lot of people are still confused, not sure where the cage takes place in the timeline. Happened about 3 years ago.
Well, 2 years before the war started, I guess.
Yes. And I got to say, at this point, when she said set a course for Talos 4 maximum warp, I expected the screen to go red and the computer to say, no, there's death sentence. But I don't think that's implemented yet. I think that I think that all becomes of what's going to be in the next episode. So that's cool. If it's a good tie-in, it's a good tie-in. So there you go.
And to jump back for 1 second about the Burnham thing, I was taken off base because I finished the notes. So you can why don't you jump in the section? Why don't you jump in the super chats before I jump back? Because we did technically finish the episode there.
Fred Wicks puts in $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
Will there be a return of Harry Mudd this season? Probably not. I'm shaking your head. Yes. Do you know that Rainn Wilson is?
Well, I bet you they're going to buy information from him at some point. Like he's the only one that knows something about something, and that'll be the thing that helps him do something. Or works the Klingons at one point, helps L'Rell. It'll be something as actually not a villain, but a devious man, like more like in TOS. I think they're going to play
falling
that.
In line with TOS. Yeah.
He has to be. I mean, they're going to do it. They're not going to.
Well, they filmed the short. They wouldn't have brought him back for just the short, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But anyway, 500 rubles super chat.
Thank you.
Tinfoil hat mode on. Michael Burnham is a time loop artifact. She should not exist. Section 31 or other organizations manipulating Leland tries to fix the timeline to get rid of her, but Red Angel intervenes every time. Wow.
Whew.
That's a fantastic one.
Wow.
She should not exist.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Dude, love it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're bringing time in. We're bringing time stuff with a continuity, which is clearly a little bit off to the side. I mean, it brings in different questions. That's interesting.
Yep.
Mm.
Thomas McCauley puts in $2.99 Australian. The Red Angel is a future Section 31 agent. Dun, dun, dun. Anything's possible. Maybe it's Sloan.
Bring that to back after 20 years. No, I don't see that. I think it's too literal. It needs to be something clever. Real clever. But we'll get back into that in a minute, I'm sure. But let me talk about the... And obviously we've had a discussion already today in the review, but this is for the live people. I find it very strange that her taking over makes sense. Great. Love it. But saying, Leland, is that name?
Yes,
Leland. I'll tell Michael if what you've done, ha ha ha, and using that, I'll use that as blackmail material to be in command. He's like, damn it. I'm thinking, why do you care what Michael Burnham thinks? She's a medium rank officer on an important ship, sure, but I mean, she's a small fish in the pond of this universe. Narratively, she's the main character, but why the hell would a top Section 31 agent care if Michael Burnham hates him? Like, she already betrayed you all and ran away. You've lost any possible trust with her. you know, if you'd said anyone else, like, I'll
See,
tell Cornwall about you, I'll tell Dilla about you, but Burnham is like, that doesn't mean anything. The way she said it is like, I'll tell the main character about you, dum dum dum. That's what it was.
well, the way it's played too is you're responsible for the death of her parents. Was he responsible for the Klingon attack on the outpost? Or like indirectly responsible for the death, or did he literally walk up and stab them both in the back? Like, there's a big difference.
Two clear disruptors, just like.
You know what I mean, though? Like, there's a huge difference between causing these series of events that led to their deaths, than being directly responsible for their deaths. So we need to find out more about that. But yeah, that was interesting. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's probably. He feels guilt. That's the important thing. He doesn't want his guilt to be exposed. I'm thinking he might have not stopped the attack, and he feels responsible because of that through his actions, or he was subterfuged by another agent or a Klingon agent that did him wrong and had the wrong information. And I think it's very unintentional. So I don't see him as actually doing anything actively, or he gave the Klingons a coordinates to the planet so he could get in and steal something. Bit more literal. Don't know.
Yeah. Fred Wick says, Trekyards, y'all don't like my super chat. We answered your super chat talking about Harry Mudd. We think he probably will be back this season because he was in one of the shorts, so we assume he might have a small role in maybe one of the last episodes.
Go back 5 minutes and watch our full response.
Yes, we did answer though.
Yeah. And then the ending, Talos 4. What do you think about someone who commented negatively that there were 3 ships, Section 31 ships? Do you have a problem with that?
Nope.
Yeah. No, not really. I like if they're all like separate cells. Like it became that important that they had to quickly like warp in 3 cells. They've each got.
Or does it tie in with the 3 red dots that affected Arium? Conspiracy theories, tinfoil hat.
Okay, final note then: the Talos 4, as the reveal, when you got to that moment, the episode is finished. We thought that is the end. It gets the last thing. What do you think?
I was blown away. I'm like, oh, I want to watch it now. I can't wait a week. Yep. Let's crawl into that time vortex and find the next week wind gust thing and jump onto that because I want to watch it right away. That's what I thought.
No, I told you in our review that I wasn't quite sold on the episode until the 3 dots, and then Talos 4 was like, oh yeah, you've hooked me. That was what I knew, and that was the strong bit, was to get to this point. I love how cavalier it is because we know it's important. Now, my only concern is that the Discovery team has proven they're not very good at continuity, using old continuity, and so now to actually go back to an existent place that's only been touched 1.5 times, the very set logic, a very set feel, they could easily ruin that.
Yes.
And so it's great if it was the Enterprise team who took Define and actually enhanced it, but so subtly. Like they built a new Jeffries tube that you didn't for once think was out of place. You know, they enhanced the TOS vibe without doing anything against it. And when they recreated the TNG sets for the last episode, again, it was so painfully recreating. This team is the opposite. We're going to prioritize our vision above that of what existed before, to the point of, we'll ignore this and do our own thing. And it does damage to some extent previous stuff, and so this could be incredible. You can imagine if an Enterprise episode was done back to Talos 4, you'd find literally on the floor lasers from Cage just strewn around from their cell because he dropped them. You know, you'd find those references, and they'd rebuild the sets exactly, but then you'd turn the camera and see another part of the set that you never saw before. You know, so I'm excited at the notion, but now nervous about the execution. Although I love the committing to the bit. We heard very early on, Telosians are in it. Yeah. I did not think they're going to go to Talos 4. Well, I mentioned to you last week, but to go there is so different to what I thought they were going to do, and so I'm really happy about that as a possible.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Swiftpack puts in $1.99. What do you think about the looks of the Telosians? Funny you ask. We filmed a whole episode about that today. It'll be out soon.
The problem is
pretty good reimagining. 25% different. Blah blah blah. Watch the episode.
The problem is it's quite a spoiler, so because it spoils the trailer for next week, so I'm not gonna actually release that today or tomorrow, just because that's such a reveal.
be later in the week, closer to Thursday for sure. But yes, we have covered that.
Yeah, so there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Now is the time to ask free flow questions about the entire episode as we talk for a few minutes and get the final few super chats to help support this channel and just control what we say, because this is the episode 7. We are now halfway through the season. It took months to make, and it's taken us 2-ish months to watch.
Yes. Fred Wicks also says, don't fall for the banana. I ain't falling for no banana in the tailpipe. You called that one bang on, Captain. I think Captain Georgiou is now the one in charge of Section 31. Thoughts? Yes, we talked about that a little bit.
Branch, anyway.
Yes, but I think she's going to cause a shit show and try to use Section 31 to take over or get back to the mirror universe. And it's going to backfire on her, and then they're going to have to nix Section 31 because it's gone public, because she's like, I'm Section 31, I'm here to blow up some stuff. And they're going to blow her up, and they're going to be like, Section 31 is dead, and it's not. Then it goes back to subterfuge. And...
Well, you heard how blatantly she throws around, I mean, to persons that she knows who she is.
I'm Section 31.
Well, but I'm also an empress, you know. She says it in the corridor in front of everyone. So her secrecy level is I don't care. I'll shoot you. Go away. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if she makes it that obvious.
Fleet Paw Swiftpack puts in $1.99. He says, I will watch it. Thanks. Well, there you go. Thank you.
Cool. Oh yeah, final score and summary. And if our full review, because we sometimes do change our opinions based on our full analysis review.
My score out of 10 is a 9. I really enjoyed this episode. It felt very Star Trek. It wasn't super long. Pacing was good. A lot of great story elements, great characterizations, perfect acting, and a lot of and everybody's part, I guess.
Any standouts would you call out for the acting?
Well, Amanda and Sarek, that scene was beautifully done, and most of the Pike Tyler stuff was great. So that's what I would call out. And I'd give it a 9 out of 10. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
But I do have to call you on one thing and see if you continue on that. Would you still... Because earlier on today you said this is your favorite episode of Discovery so far. Well, the best, you said. The best. And a 9, there was a 9.2 or 9.3 at one point. So
which one was that?
I don't remember, but there was one. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one. But it was an above 9. I was like, whoa.
I almost gave this a 9.5 today, but then I thought that might be too much.
Yes, I'm glad. I saw that in your expressions. You did that the first time round. I mean, do you back that up? Do you say this is the best episode of Star Trek Discovery so far out of, 19 episodes? 22 episodes.
It's one of them, yes. If it's not number 1, it's up in the top 1 or 2 or 3. Okay. Yes.
So
I just want to address Bill Barkley. Do Trekyards never do a breakdown of episodes of Orville? Thinky face. We will. We're going to be talking about Orville, I think, on one of our lives next week. They didn't get the views we were hoping for, so we kind of stopped them. They were kind of a waste of the time but we will go back and revisit them and talk about all the great stuff. So yes. Sarkhan D. Grissom puts in $5. I, Sarkhan D. Grissom, bet Burnham is by Tellus 4 is off limits. Yes. Well, we're hoping that's going to be the impetus that causes the death penalty, or General Order 7, if you will. That'll be very interesting.
Isn't that great, though? She's the same officer that's the first mutiny ever, and the first one that creates a death penalty ever in Starfleet history. It's like, Jesus!
Leave a remark.
And just to...
200 rubles.
I was going to say to Bill... we did reviews last year, which was much easier because they were different days, and they got just as many views as Discovery, and that was great. We loved doing them both. The smaller videos got not enough views, but the main reviews did brilliantly, and we loved doing them. This year we tried to do 2, and they bombed, absolutely bombed. Where Discovery ones were doing strong. So if you guys won't watch them, and we shouldn't make them. There's no reason to. Don't make content people aren't going to watch, because you could be using the same time to make content people will watch. That said, if we earned like 2,000 on Patreon, we wouldn't need ad revenue, and we could ask the fans, what do you want to see? And those people would be paying our rent each month, and therefore we could do stuff that doesn't get the views, because if 2,000 of you, of which 500 support on Patreon, then that that. So the best way to get content that you want that isn't necessarily doable by ad revenue is support on Patreon. If we get to a high enough level, we can start asking for content that just they want to see. Because maybe we can do all the exclusives for, Patreon. Don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys, really. I mean, you vote with your view.
Yeah. 200 rubles super chat. Tinfoil Part 2. Red Angel is Michael Burnham trying to save herself. Do you think we will see Aldous Hodge, Kraft from Calypso again? I'm certain we will. I would love to. He was a fantastic character and a good actor. And Michael Burnham very likely is the Red Angel. If I know the Discovery writing team, that's kind of the corner they would back themselves into. So I hope it's more clever than that, but.
Yeah, interest in the Orville has picked up since debut, says 90 Lancaster. I do think it's worth doing a live on the two-parter, Identity Part 1 and Part 2. Because there's only a lot to talk about. Although I wouldn't want to do the images for that because it's like, oh my god, there's so many images. I would take literally like 2.5 hours just to do and frame and.
Yeah, we just need to talk about it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people. I've been reading a lot of comments today, and they really piss me off because people are like, oh, they haven't reviewed Orville. They've hung their hat on Discovery, so I'm unsubscribing. It's like, bye. Don't let the airlock door hit you in the ass on the way out. Whatever. Anyway.
Well, if 100 of your friends watched Orville, then we'd have made it. But to be fair, they were the worst 2 episodes-ish. So that was,
Yeah, they were kind of not in our wheelhouse because they didn't feature new tech, new chips, new.
They weren't great, even.
No.
So I can certainly sympathise, but I mean, especially with Discovery on the same day and how burned out I certainly get as editor after Friday, and I don't want to touch editing software until like Tuesday normally. But Orville will be, because you couldn't possibly get out on a Friday. Literally every hour of today is done on Discovery. We can't really do the weekend because we have weekend stuff we got to do, and then. First, so you can get by Monday, and by that it's already lost its initial interest possibly. So it's tricky. I mean, obviously, Stu, if you want to do a live reaction, but that's like that night. So much live to do, and it's just like So.
I mentioned the Orville episode in each of my Discovery First reactions. I say it was really good. I don't give much away because not a lot of people have a chance to watch it. Before watching my live. So.
And the biggest problem with the Orville is that it's so self-contained, its own universe that we can't analyze the tech. It's mostly character stuff. And the sci-fi stuff is normally very well done. So, we can't talk about the bad sci-fi crap. We can't talk about the bad shuttle designs. We can't talk about... Because it's much more well thought out. It's a more solid show. So we can't do as much general content on it just because it doesn't necessarily feature that well.
Yeah.
So yes, you said 9 out of 10. I say 8-ish out of 10. 8.5, 8-ish. Damn solid. I thought it was a very well balanced episode, which they really haven't done before. Balance. See, they had some, like the Klingon one had some good storylines, some bad storylines. They just, like the Tilly stuff in episode 3 or 4 was poor, but the other stuff was good. So it kind of, this I thought was very well balanced, good pacing. The shortest by a long way. Could have done with a 5-minute intro on Kaminar. 5 minutes. Wouldn't have taken much. They needed that badly. But hey, and really intriguing. I do appreciate the just a better story arc than season 1. I don't think it'll be as good of a go back and rewatch because we did get a lot out of the clusterfuck that was season 1 in the rewatch of what little things were there. I was like, oh yeah, this season's far more straightforward, but it's a far more compelling season.
I agree.
Okay.
Season's way better overall.
Yep, and if season 3's even better, then I think we're in for a good...
It's taken at least season 2 to find its legs, and it could just get better. Who knows?
Yeah. Right, so who wants to be our final super chat of the night? Please do help, and I'll go back to editing our videos. Yeah. Anybody? What, Stuart? Why are you laughing at my face?
Not laughing at your face. Just laughing at the awkward silence. Give us more money. Anyone? It's like,
well,
nobody's gonna.
You could just watch our videos, but you don't have to do that all the time, so Got RTL away as well. Yeah, I saw you released the Akira Eagle Moss review yesterday. Or today.
Yes, today.
It's the normal, not the XL, because the XL hasn't come out yet, has it?
Right, and I say they should make an XL in the review, and then I found out today they're making an XL, so it's like woohoo!
And that'll be a great XL because Fabio, who did the model from First Contact would not have worked whatsoever, so Fabio did a much better version.
Oh. We got 2 new super chats. Fleet Boss Swiftback puts in $4.99. 8 out of 10. Best part of the Burnham Georgiou fight. Best part was the Burnham Georgiou fight.
Really?
And Ariam getting jacked. And Tyler Vincent wins the place for last super chat of $2 with no comment. Thank you very much, Tyler. Thank you very much, Fleet Paw. Everyone that's super chatted, much appreciated.
Oh no, Tyler just tuned in. Anyone else feel like they're leading up to a timeline reset? He meant that as a super chat. That's funny. So you missed the entire 2-hour super live chat. Yeah. What do you think? And yes, thank you, Zardon D. Grissom. It's so much appreciated. What do you think, Stuart? Might be a timeline reset. Is that what they're leading into with time stuff?
Don't get me started.
No, sure. I mean, it's a really good question.
It's possible. It's hopeful. That's what I'm hoping for. I was hoping for that with Enterprise, with the Temporal Cold War, and they fucked that up. So, no, I'm not very hopeful. Jill Wright puts in $2. Oh, sorry. 9.3 out of 10. I freaking loved it.
I can see why.
Dean Prater puts in $7 and said, "Here's more money." Thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Dean. And Craig Ken, I do watch all the vids. Took me more than a month. Craig, were you doing back to back? Is that how long it took you to watch our entire massive set of content? Jeez, we have so much content. Matt Mon, just got on here. How long has live been going on? 2 hours.
2 hours and 16 minutes.
A long time, sir. But you can go back and watch it. I do love doing the lives like this where we actually have pictures, we do it properly, because these are full episodes. You know, these aren't just us looking at cameras. They're not just, like, it's a full episode. It really is.
Yeah. And Rob, no, I haven't visited the church and the log cabin at Balls Falls yet. I will get around to it at some point. I'll go visit New Eden and get a picture with my Trekyards gear in front of the church saying, "I've rescued the people of New Eden. I corrected Pike's mistake." Don't worry.
You know, it'd be funny to do, like, take a picture and have me build, like, an Iconian Gateway CGI or a Stargate. That'd be great. A Stargate on it, and it's like, people are leaving. Oh. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it quits. I'm calling it. Captain's saying it's done. It's done. So, even though I have no power to hit the end stream button, but I can turn off my camera.
Hold on. Picard series update with character breakdowns.
I don't want to talk about this on the live. I want to go 2 hours and 17 minutes.
How is that a real... This can't be a real thing.
It's probably not. Bye.
Oh, bye.